of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-529-2856. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-529-2856. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-529-2856. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds too. For affordable term life, call 800-529-2856.
Staying active and healthy as we age starts with strong bones. To keep your bones strong, you need calcium, vitamin D, and regular exercise. A bone density test called DEXA helps detect low bone mass and bone disease called osteoporosis. If you're 65 or older, Medicare provides free bone density tests every 2 years. Ask your doctor to schedule yours. For more information on how to be bone strong, visit pathtogoodbonehealth.org.
Hey, Joe, I thought you were retired.
Living on a fixed income is tough. So here I am, an essential worker.
I know. I mean, food prices are going up every day. Thank goodness for benefitscheckup.org.
Benefits what?
benefitscheckup.org. It's a free website where people over 60 can find help to pay for food, medicine, even utilities. I got $1,200 a year in benefits. Maybe it can help you.
We are real sports talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to real sports talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. It's time to get up and get your day started. Morant. A jawbreaker! It's Sports 56 Mornings with Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. The first hour of Sports 56 Mornings is brought to you by the Big Green Egg. Now, here are your hosts, Greg and Eli.
Happy Friday, everybody. Good morning to you. Welcome in. Get ready for a scorcher here in Memphis and the Mid-South with temperatures on the way up to the mid-90s, eventually towards 100 degrees this weekend, and a heat index in triple figures. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd with you from the Family Leisure Studios. Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. Nothing to do with the family this weekend? Why don't you take a little stroll through Family Leisure? You won't be disappointed. All types of great deals on everything you need for the summer. 2120 Whitten Road, just north of I-40. And the first hour of the program is brought to you by the Big Green Egg. Well, right now it's okay. It's 66 degrees, but we're talking about a high today of 95 degrees. Air quality alert in effect. As they say, abundant sunshine. And then tonight, 74 for a low with some passing clouds. Saturday, 95, Sunday, 97. The sun will continue to shine, and I don't see rain in the forecast until maybe Monday night into Tuesday, and even at that, it's not a high percentage. So take advantage of a little suntan if you like, but be very careful out there while doing so. Coming up on the program today, we got a lot to get to. John Varlas, of course, will join us in studio at 7:25 from the Daily Memphian, as he does each and every Friday. We got plenty of Ole Miss to talk about, as Keith Carter, the Ole Miss Director of Athletics, will join us at 8:05, and then we'll talk to their star basketball player, Matthew Morrell, the Memphian. He'll come our way at 8:25 and come your way at 8:25. And then more basketball talk at 9:05 with Matt Moore, NBA writer for the Action Network. We got 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. That'll come your way at 9:30. We'll take your calls and texts on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines at 901-360-8255. Round 2 of the U.S. Open Golf Tournament is underway. The start of the College Baseball World Series from Omaha begins today. Tennessee in action today. Plus, it could be over in the NBA Finals tonight. If the Dallas Mavericks don't win, the Boston Celtics will have swept and will be the NBA champions over the Mavericks. In the Stanley Cup Finals, it's a runaway right now for the Florida Panthers. They win again last night. More preseason accolades for the Memphis Tigers football team that we'll talk about. And speaking of football, there's another very, very rich quarterback in the National Football League. And in just a moment, we're going to talk about the possibility of another revenue stream for conferences as they combat the big multi-billion-dollar lawsuit and the eventual settlement with the NCAA and how it will affect not only conferences, but the schools themselves. That's one loaded show. Kick back, relax, enjoy. It's going to be a fun ride over the next 3 hours. How are you?
I am fabulous.
Yeah, how are you?
Yes, I am.
Did you see the logo for the possibility of the SEC now becoming a sponsor of Waffle House? Now, that's not true, but it is hilarious.
Waffle House becoming a sponsor of the SEC.
There you go. But they have the SEC, the letters SEC, spelled out in waffles. It is fabulous. If you don't know what I'm talking about, yesterday news came down from the Big 12 and Brett Yormark, their commissioner, that they are exploring selling the naming rights for the conference, which would include, in the case of the Big 12, dropping the word big and replacing it with the corporate sponsor's name. One of the corporations that they have been rumored to be talking with is Allstate. We're looking at probably, according to the reports that were out there, $30 to $50 million that would be brought in by the conference just because of the naming rights. But then also Tim Pernetti, who's now the new commissioner of the American Conference, who's been on with us, and he talked about this when he was on with us, that he will leave no stone unturned. They will look at every possible revenue stream available, and that the American Conference, Mountain West, Conference USA, the group of 5 conferences, if you will, all looking at this possibility as well. We could have some funky names, Eli, but again, money is not falling out of trees, so they are finding ways to add extra revenue for the conference, and they'll need it.
Well, really, it is falling out of trees for the Power 5 conferences. It's just the SEC, the Big Ten have a whole forest, and the others don't. And so the Big 12 realizing we got to try and keep up somehow with those two conferences. It's a smart move. Like, you got to think about, like, what can we do? Their TV deals are way bigger, and they're going to be way bigger. So how can we make up for that deficit? And if I give them credit, like you got to be looking at every possible thing out there to make money. And if you can get somebody, who cares what the hell the name of your conference is, if it means money to try and keep up with the two big boys.
Well, using the forest metaphor, they did chop down the trees that were the Pac-12, which is no longer, including the Stanford tree, which is now headed to the ACC. But you're absolutely right. There's still the Big Ten and the SEC in control of most of the financial, domination. But the other two power conferences, the Big 12 and the ACC, make pretty good coin. They just don't make what the other two do. And really enough when it comes to that number that's been thrown out there of $22 million for revenue sharing each and every year. I mean, they may be okay, maybe, but certainly the group of 5 conferences aren't. So it makes sense that they're going to go down every avenue and look at, under every stone. But who cares? Like you said, we already have a college world where geography is out the window. Divisions are gone. Conferences have funky names right now. I mean, the only one that makes sense, well, the Atlantic Coast Conference, but not every school is on the coast. The SEC certainly makes sense. The Big 12 doesn't with the number. The Big Ten doesn't with the number. So who cares? Who cares if you throw in...
It's just funny they're not getting rid of the number. They're getting rid of the big.
I know, it doesn't make any sense. Get
No.
rid of the damn number, for goodness sakes. But, again, who cares if it's Allstate or Shell or Citgo or Apple or FedEx?
It's funny that I was looking at the matchups. They announced the matchups the other day for the ACC SEC Challenge in basketball. And I was going down them, and it just it's going to take me a long time to be able to digest Cal being in the ACC.
Right.
Like, I got to that, I was like, what? I was like, wait. This is a mistake. And I'm like, oh, no, that's right. No, that's not. California is going to be in the Atlantic Coast Conference. And, that one just doesn't – that one's going to take a while.
Cal and Stanford.
I think that one's going to be the one. That's going to be the new, I don't know, maybe Maryland in the Big Ten has just always got to think about that. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Cal in the ACC is going to, every time I see them playing an ACC team, it's going to have to take a while to go, oh, that's right. This is a conference game. This is not a non-conference matchup. They just, I don't know. That one sticks in my head. I can't figure it out.
Well, certainly Cal and Stanford, ACC, crazy. I mean, it's crazy enough that SMU is in the ACC. But then you throw in UCLA and USC, Washington, Oregon are in the Big Ten, but at least there's the connection from the Rose Bowl of the old Pac-12 and the Big Ten. But you're right. I mean, it's crazy. So who cares what the name is? Geography has been out the window for years now with what they have done with the changing of the guard, if you will, in the conferences. And, of course, one conference going completely belly up. So something to keep an eye on, and something that the American Conference, who knows which direction they'll go in, but Tim Pernetti is going to be aggressive. Brett Yormark is getting a lot of compliments as a progressive commissioner, thinking outside the box, not this old school mentality. And Tim Pernetti is going to be that same type of guy. There's no question about it. U.S. Open Round 1 completed yesterday with Rory McIlroy and Patrick Cantlay, your co-leaders. They each shot a 5 under 65. Rory went bogey-free, and he did that one time when he won the U.S. Open, went bogey-free. So maybe it will be Rory's time. Ludwig Oberg at minus 466. He's a guy that many believe will break through sooner than later, winning a major. And then tied for fifth at 3 under, Matthew Pavon, the Frenchman, and Bryson DeChambeau from Liv. They each had 3 under 67. Brooks Koepka, Colin Morikawa, Xander Schauffele, all even 70s yesterday. Scottie Scheffler, the heavy favorite, 1 over 71. And Tiger Woods ended up 4 over 74. Round 2 is underway.
Yeah, Rory and Scheffler and Schauffele are out on the golf course. They have played the first hole. Rory with a par on 1. He's got to get up and down on 2 for a par. But very few love U.S. Open golf more than Rory McIlroy. 5 straight top 10s coming into this year. He absolutely loves U.S. Open golf. And a good start for him yesterday. And see what they – number 1 today is brutal. They're basically, it seems like from what I've seen, any shot that comes up short of the pin on one, and actually there's been a couple that get it to the pin, but if it has any spin, if it gets short of the pin, it rolls all the way off the front of the green, which is a pretty good distance. Like, the pin's not like it's on the very front of the green. Like, there's a little bit of room there, but the ball just starts rolling. It rolls all the way up the front of the green. Guys are a bit frustrated on number 1 today. It's going to be there's going to be some guys that are a little perplexed by that, but it's there's some frustration early. But that's, again, Pinehurst has so many of those where you think you might have hit a good shot and that ball just will roll and roll and roll until it ends up who knows where. Sometimes into their little waste areas with that weird grass and sand and everything else. But impressive stuff yesterday. I mean, shooting 65s out there, like, that's going bogey free out there like Rory did, like that's some really good stuff. And since I had bet him as the first round leader, the one thing I didn't like was Patrick Cantlay tying him.
Well, good for you. By the way, is it the kind of weird grass where you play 18 holes on it during the day and at night you smoke the bejesus out of it? Is that what we're talking about?
I don't know what that little what they kept calling it. What did they keep calling it yesterday? The wiry grass or whatever, that little the wispy stuff. I don't know. The little air. I mean, because that thing, like, you can literally hit what you think is a really good shot, lands on the green, looks good, and then all of a sudden it starts rolling, and it just gets off the green, and it keeps rolling and rolling and rolling, and suddenly you're in this weird bunker, sandy area. You're like, I thought I hit a pretty darn good shot, but okay, we'll deal with this. But these guys are so good, like, that stuff doesn't even matter to them. They're just unbelievable around the greens.
Okay, so NBC has the coverage, but Peacock has part of the coverage, right?
Yeah, I mean, well, these first two are like,
I couldn't find it yesterday.
It was on USA yesterday, and then it went to Peacock. Today, I'm not sure. I think it might be Peacock early, then going to NBC. I'm not sure if there might be some USA in it today, too. I don't know if there's any USA on today. I'm not sure exactly how it works. But yesterday was on USA and then switched to Peacock at like, I don't know, 5 o'clock, something like that.
Right when I got home, I went to USA Today, which was right after 5, and I didn't see it. And then I went over to NBC. Now, it wouldn't be on NBC, right? This on Thursday. It wasn't there. And they go, okay.
Today is Peacock up until noon. I assume this would be, this is Central. Up until noon, and then it'll be on NBC from noon to 6.
Okay. But yesterday, after 5, wasn't on USA Today, or USA, excuse me. It wasn't on NBC. And so I'm like, do I get Peacock? I pay for everything. I got Hulu. I got Prime. I got Netflix. I got Disney. I don't have Peacock. I don't think I have Peacock. I couldn't find Peacock, so I never watched the golf. I didn't see one shot yesterday.
You can also watch online. I mean, they don't have the full cards, but they got featured groups all day long on the website that you could watch.
Okay, and that's probably what I should have. But I went to the other ones, Hulu and all that. I go, maybe am I going to catch? Because sometimes I catch golf on those, and I didn't find it there, and then I just got frustrated, as I usually do. So again, round 2 underway from Pinehurst, number 2, in North Carolina. The College Baseball World Series gets underway today. By the way, fans have already flocked to Omaha, Nebraska. And if I'm not mistaken, the early leader at Rocco's with the Jello Shot Challenge, Kentucky. If I read it right yesterday, Kentucky was the only one in triple digits very early in the game. And then we'll see where it ends up. I know you talked about Tennessee. Should be a good day, though, for the Rocco's Jello Shots for Tennessee today because Tennessee is in action. The first game of the day, it's an all-ACC affair, Virginia and North Carolina. And then you have Florida State and Tennessee. That is scheduled to get underway at 6 o'clock Central. Again, double elimination, College Baseball World Series. Vols trying to win it for the first time. And you got 4 ACC teams and 4 SEC teams. So something's got to give.
Something has to give. One of them will win it.
Either an ACC team or an SEC team. NBA Finals tonight, Game 4. Celtics look to wrap it up against the Mavericks. Mavericks are a 1.5-point favorite. And the whole discussion yesterday, the whole conversation yesterday was about Luka. Okay, enough already. We get it. Luka's not a great defensive player. Luka belly aches about every call. No question about it. But they talk like Luka is some schlub. They're not where they are without Luka. Okay, end of story. He's not a great all-around player. He's a great offensive player. But Luka did speak. He said he vows to have fun. He apologized to his teammates. I don't know how much fun he'll have, especially if they lose and get swept, and if there's any calls against him, which there will be, but he vows to have fun. Dallas, can they get Game 4? Yes. Can they make it a series? No. Probably a gentleman's sweep, but I wouldn't be surprised if Boston wraps it up tonight. I'm sure they'd love to wrap it up in front of their home crowd in Boston, but the sooner the better. Then you get the celebration.
Yeah, I think they would love to finish it tonight and not have to worry about anything else. They last year were up or down 3-0 and took it to a Game 7 in the Eastern Conference Finals, so they certainly know what can happen. I think anytime you got a chance to close it out, go ahead and do it, be done with it, and start that celebration as early as you possibly can. Who cares if it's on your home floor or on the road?
Exactly.
Just get it done with.
I didn't see this when it happened, or maybe they didn't mention it, but this is interesting. Derek Lively, who had a solid Game 3 after pretty much being absent the first 2 games of this series, he finished Game 3 with 11 points and 13 rebounds for a double-double. At 20 years and 121 days old, Lively became the youngest player in NBA Finals history to record a double-double. The youngest one before that was? Do you have a guess?
LeBron.
Magic Johnson. Number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. So before Derek Lively, Magic Johnson was 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the list. But Derek Lively gets the double-double. The NBA Finals is a runaway, so is the Stanley Cup Finals. Last night, Florida goes to Edmonton, grabs a 4-1 lead. Edmonton battles back to make it 4-3, but unable to get the equalizer. The Panthers now lead that series 3-0. They'll try to wrap it up this weekend and win the Lord's Stanley Cup. And continue.
Lord Stanley's Cup.
Yeah, whatever the hell it is. And then deny the great country of Canada another Stanley Cup, which they have not won since 93.
Told you that Florida would win.
Because you are the hockey buff. You are Mr. Hockey.
I'm going to be right.
No, I didn't argue with it.
I'm going to be right in the NBA Finals. Going to be right in the Stanley Cup Finals.
I wasn't arguing that with Florida. I mean, Florida's got an unbelievable goaltender. That's all there's to it. He's going to win the Conn Smythe Trophy. He's going to be the MVP. He is a brick wall, for goodness sakes. Dan Hurley said rejecting the Lakers' offer was not leverage play. I believe that. I believe he seriously went into it thinking that he could easily take that job. And then he spoke yesterday, and I knew family was going to be a big part of that. These are not saying that one day he won't coach in the NBA or somewhere out west or Midwest, but he is a Northeast kind of guy, and he loves what's going on at Connecticut. And I believe him when he said it wasn't a leverage play.
Yeah, I mean, if he says so, I think he actually considered it. I think if the Lakers had offered him more money, he might have done it. I just don't think it was enough money to lure him away from a really good job he already has.
Trevor Lawrence gets a 5-year, $275 million contract extension with the Jags, $200 million guaranteed. Now, if Hurley was offered that type of money, I think he goes to the Lakers. But big money for Trevor Lawrence, no surprise.
Yeah, it's just amazing for these quarterbacks. It's just you just want to be the next one to sign the contract. He now matches Joe Burrow as the highest average annual salary at $55 million with his contract. So there are now 6 quarterbacks that have an average salary of over $50 million. And they have a grand total of 0 Super Bowl wins.
Wow.
Goff, Herbert, Jackson, Hurts, Burrow, and now Trevor Lawrence all over the $50 million mark per year. Although I think Patrick Mahomes when he signed his contract, it technically wasn't an average annual salary of over $50 million. But I think in his when he redid the contract, either earlier this year, or I can't remember earlier. Technically, I think he is now making over $50 million the way they redid it per year.
But he's won Super Bowls.
But, I mean, it's the idea that you've got those are your 6 technically highest paid quarterbacks, and you got a couple that have played in the Super Bowl, 3 of them actually that have played in the Super Bowl, but 0 Super Bowl wins.
Well, you're going to have Tua probably join that list soon. He'll be up there near $50 million, if not over $50 million.
He'll be. I'm sure he will. I mean, just be the next guy. If you just got to be the next one.
What about Dak?
If they sign him to an extension, he'll be up there as well. Like it's just if you're just the next in line, that's all you got to do. Be the next in line. Hope your contract comes up. Be the next in line, and there you go.
Couple of quick Memphis sports notes from the University of Memphis before we take a timeout. And John Barlas joins us on the other side. This was interesting. Jalen Young, who was with the Tigers last year after coming over from Central Florida, UCF. He hits the portal. He commits to Vermont. He decommits from Vermont a couple of days ago. And now on his list, he's considering Michigan, Ohio State, Fresno State, and a return to Memphis. Now, is Penny in that conversation, or is this just on his own?
I have no idea.
Jalen Young, really a non-factor last year with the team.
I did see, by the way, too, the ESPN has the top transfers and where they're all headed. Mm-hmm. I'm a little confused because they right now on their list, Wooga Poplar, they do not have committed. Although I thought he was committed to Villanova. Now, I don't know if he changed his mind or what, but on their list, they do not have Wooga committed anywhere. So Wooga might still be available.
You're holding out for Wooga?
I looked it up again, and I don't see anything where it says he changed his mind on Villanova. So I don't know if they just overlooked that or what, but they've got like the top 100 transfers and where they're headed, and under his name, it doesn't have him committed to Villanova.
Athlon Sports preseason All-AAC team was announced as their magazine is out for the upcoming 24 season. 7 Tigers made the first team, including quarterback Seth Hennigan. There was also 2 players, Mario Anderson, Greg Rubin, that made the second team, 2 players that made the third, including Cormonte Hamilton. There were 2 players that made the fourth, including tight end Anthony Lanphier. If you total that up, that's 13 players that were included on the Athlon Sports preseason All-AAC teams from the University of Memphis. Jenkins Floors and More invites you to their retail warehouse where they pass wholesale savings on to you. They have opened up their new warehouse in Horn Lake, Mississippi at 2356 Goodman Road. Just opened up about a week or 2 ago. They also have shops in Little Rock and in Cleveland, Mississippi. They specialize in flooring and carpeting, tile, plantation shutters, and blinds. Jenkins makes your life easy. 2-week turnaround. They'll have the job done. Contractors, builders, or even family projects. Call 662-469-9350. That's 662-469-9350. They'll come out and they'll give you a free estimate. They'll come to you, bring you samples, show you what it'll be like. Owners Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins say hello to all Sports 56 fans. Make sure to contact them about their family discount. They look forward to your business at Jenkins Floors and More.
Rory McIlroy makes a bogey on his second hole of the day. He's playing the back 9 first. So on number 11, he had a bogey. So he falls to 4 under. Patrick Cantlay now alone in the lead at 5 under. Bryson DeChambeau also 1 over through his first 2 holes of the day. So he falls from 3 under down to 2 under par.
John Varlas is next. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
When you think about insurance and you want great value without sacrificing great service, I want you to think one place: the Eflin Insurance and the entire Eflin Insurance team. Matt and his group of professionals will access 10 leading companies to find the right home and auto program that fits your budget and your absolute needs. The Eflin Insurance team, the number 386-GER, 386-4777.
Cork and Barrel in Hernando, Mississippi, a Southern gem for over 15 years. Check out their bigger, better, bolder new location, 2595 McInvale Road, Hernando. Huge selection, incredible pricing. Choose from hundreds of bourbons, tequilas, rum, scotch, and vodka. Over 1,000 wines from fine to very simple picnic wines. At Cork and Barrel, it's all about serving you. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 10, where the fun begins and the liquor and wine never end. Cork and Barrel, 2595 McInvale Road, I-55, Hernando, exit 280.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
store for details.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. An accident involving some injuries over here on 40 westbound at Warford. It's got traffic pretty slow now at times between Covington Pike and Warford on I-40 going westbound. So be aware of a delay over here on this side of town as it cranks up from the south on 55 going northbound up through South Haven. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry here in Memphis has specialized in bridal ring purchases since 1984. Go see them this weekend at Weimer's Jewelry. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Welcome back, everyone. 7:28 the time. Happy Friday, getting you set for the sports weekend. Every Friday, we get a chance to talk to the one and only John Varlas.
It's time for Greg and Eli's weekly visit with John Varlas of the Daily Memphian. Check out John's prep sports coverage and much more at dailymemphian.com. John is brought to you by Shoot 360 Memphis, where the pros and preps go to get their shot on. Shoot 360 Memphis. Now here's John Varlas with Greg and Eli.
John Varlas, the award-winning Daily Memphian prep reporter and so much more, joins us every Friday. You can follow him on Twitter at John Varlas. Read his stories at the Daily Memphian. He's brought to you by Shoot 360 Memphis. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, and if you're a mom or dad out there and you have a young basketball player, you know summertime is the time to be in the lab, as the kids say. They say, well, I'm getting in the lab. It's time to get to work. So you get you a good trainer to get the physical part of it right. You work on the mental game, and in order to work on the skill aspect of the game, there's no better place than Shoot 360 Memphis. They've got a location in Collierville at 85 Market Street. They are soon, probably in a couple of weeks or so, right, Greg, to open a new location in Collierville. So 2 separate locations, 2 separate memberships, whatever's most convenient for you. Collierville, Cordova, give them a call, 901-316-5500. They've got all the best high-tech equipment to help track what you're doing wrong and what you're doing right with your shooting. Data printouts, analyzes arc and depth and trajectory and release points and all that good stuff. And they will get you right. They will make you a better shooter, more proficient at putting the ball in the hole. And that's what it's all about. 901-316-5500. Shoot 360 Memphis. Tell them JV sent you, and they will get you right.
John, you were telling us, and I'm going to make sure, is this for air or was this something personal off air? You were starting to tell us a story, and then we came back on the air. That was off the air? Or?
No, it was on the air. No, I went to Sport Clips yesterday to get a haircut, and as you know, you can watch sports while you get your haircut at Sports Clips, and if you guys want to come on board as a sponsor too, I'll take that as well. But anyway, so I was at Sport Clips yesterday watching the U.S. Open. I was only half paying attention, and I thought I heard the announcer come on and say that Pinehurst #1 was located about 20 minutes from the ranch where Andre the Giant lived and subsequently died in North Carolina. Have you guys heard that?
No.
Okay. Well, I could have sworn they were talking about Andre the Giant's ranch and it being in near proximity to Pinehurst.
Pinehurst
I have no idea. Pinehurst is in North Carolina, right?
Yes.
Okay. I'm
Pinehurst #1 or Pinehurst #2?
Well, wherever they're playing.
Pinehurst #2.
Okay, wherever they're playing this tournament, Pinehurst #2. I'm pretty sure. That's
I had no idea where.
If anybody can,
I watched that whole thing on that documentary on Andre the Giant, but I don't remember where Andre the Giant lived.
Well, he had a ranch in North Carolina, and that's where he lived out his final years.
Did he really? Wow.
Yeah. It was tailored to his, size specifications. It had a giant bed and a giant chair, and I think he had horses and everything. But no, it was.
Hope he didn't ride those horses. That'd be tough on those horses.
Poor horses. But no, I'm pretty sure I heard that, and yeah, that's all it was. It was. It was just an interesting tidbit.
Well, I know he was born in France, correct?
Grenoble, France, site of the 1968 Winter Olympics, I think, where Peggy Fleming might have come to prominence.
Wow, if that's correct, that's all. Look at
Andre the Giant grew up a figure skater.
Yeah,
I'm sure you didn't know that.
Cool story about Andre the Giant. So he went away to wrestle.
Ellerbe, North Carolina, is where he.
Okay, so I'm sure it's near where.
Yeah. So he went away to wrestle. He was like wrestling and making his name and his fortune overseas, and he comes home back to the family farm, and he knocks on the door, and his mom answers, and he says, "Excuse me, miss, excuse me, ma'am. What do you think of this magnificent car here? It's parked out in front of the house." She said, "Oh, it's a wonderful car, but but what are you showing it to me for?" And it's like, "Well, I'm your son, Andre, and this is for you, and this is what I've done while I've been away." It's she didn't recognize him.
Oh my gosh!
Because he had apparently grown even more in the brief time that he was away. So. It may be apocryphal. The story may be apocryphal, but it's still a cool story.
What would most women, at their doorstep, a guy of that size comes up to the doorstep? First of all, I don't even know if you'd open the door.
Yeah,
see a giant like that, literally, and then he says, "I'm your son."
It was a different time, man.
It was a different time when people would come up to any doorstep and say, "I'm your son."
Have you ever seen that picture with Andre the Giant and Wilt Chamberlain though? When they did the movie Conan the Barbarian, so it's a picture with Wilt Chamberlain, Schwarzenegger, and Andre the Giant. I mean, Wilt Chamberlain is considerably taller than Andre the Giant. They exaggerated Andre's height considerably because Wilt Chamberlain was much, much taller than he was.
But much, much skinnier.
According to Google Maps, Ellerby, North Carolina to Pinehurst, number 2, 22 miles.
That's exactly what they said on the telecast.
They did not lie on the telecast.
Well, I'm glad
you heard it correctly when you were half paying attention while getting your hair cut.
So there we go.
John, each and every Friday, you usually have a bone to pick, something that kind of irked you during the week. Anything this week?
Yeah. Are you going to go hot dogs on us?
Unfortunately, it was Greg. You irked me this week, man. Your stance on and I say this with love because I nothing but respect and love and admiration for you and the job you do here every day. And throughout your career, but you were just so far off base in your hot dog stance. It really, really bothered me this week.
Remind me what I said. Well, it kind of goes in one ear out the other.
You seemed like you were pro vegan hot dog, and it seemed like
no, I wasn't.
Well, you said they shouldn't have banned Chestnut for his sponsorship of the vegan hot dog. Am I right about that?
No, what I said was they shouldn't have banned Joey Chestnut from competing in the Nathan's hot dog eating contest just because he has a sponsor that happens to be a vegan.
That's what I just said.
Because they're losing their biggest draw.
They clearly should ban him from the contest for sponsoring vegan hot dogs. Anybody that's got a sponsorship with vegan hot dogs doesn't need to be participating in the Nathan's hot dog contest. It's preposterous. It's un-American. It is antithetical to the American way of life to have a hot dog eating contest and have anybody associated with it.
But John, he doesn't eat that crap.
He's just vegan hot dogs.
He's taking their money. He's a beef hot dog eater. That's why he's going up against Kobayashi.
Well, that makes it even worse.
That would be like saying
he's a liar and he's a cheater.
That would be okay if you want to go there, but I mean that's like saying there's something Caitlin Clark is being sponsored by something. Let's not have her play in the league anymore. Well, you want to see your league go down the crapper? Get rid of her. If you want to see this contest and professional competition with eating go down the crapper, get rid of Joey Chestnut.
Yeah, that's
what I'm saying.
This got nothing to do with Caitlin Clark.
Well, first of all, when it comes to the hot dog eating contest,
there's everything to do with Joey Chestnut.
When it comes to the hot dog eating contest, I'm sure there is a lot of stuff going down the crapper afterwards.
Well, that's true.
This strikes at the very essence of
why would you want to get rid of the biggest draw and still have that thing survive? I don't understand that.
Because he's chosen the almighty dollar over America, over all beef hot dogs, over the sanctity of a hot dog eating contest.
Or every single facsimile of an athlete, Joey Chestnut takes the money.
Yes, but this is again, it strikes to the essence of the game. We're talking about we're talking about hot dogs here and hot dog eating contests and the 4th of July and apple pie and moms and Chevrolet and all the things that make this country great. And he is chosen.
He's going vegan.
He's going vegan. That's the whole thing. So
see, I disagree. He's not going vegan. He's just taking their money.
He is too going vegan.
He's not. He's going to compete. He wanted to compete in the all beef hot dog contest like he does every
living
year.
A lie.
But he's living a lie? And how can Nathan's, as an all beef hot dog company, even give the appearance of being associated with somebody who doesn't like or at least considers the possibility that all beef hot dogs are not the very best thing in the world. How can they, in good conscience, align themselves with somebody with that sort of philosophy? I think they were
This is a terrible bone to pick, by the way.
It's a great bone. I think they were well within their rights to ban him. I hope he learns his lesson from this. Apparently, he's going to profit anyway because now he's got this made-for-TV sham contest eating with Kobayashi, and I'm sure you're going to be tuning into that, Greg, and you're getting your money. But the whole thing is.
Well, I'm glad you're having fun at the expense of me because it makes no sense what you're saying. Makes no sense.
I think it makes perfect sense.
So what you're saying then, let's say a player in the NBA has a big bank sponsor, and they personally have a deal with a different bank.
You see that?
They should kick him out of the league then.
Well, no, but you do see that all the time. Like these athletes will have individual sponsors with certain drink companies, and they'll have their sports drink on the podium during post game, and then some little PR flaky intern type of person, they'll come in and remove the drink because that's not the league.
But they're
sponsor.
not removing the player.
No,
from the league.
But they're moving. Well, but they're. But
if that Joey Chestnut's not bringing out vegan hot dogs on
if the player
4th of July.
If the game was to drink as much of that drink as you could, then they wouldn't be allowed in the game.
You guys are wrong. 360-8255. Text in because you folks know I'm right about this thing. It's a bad bone to pick, John. I'm sorry. You have a good bone each and every week. This is a bad bone to pick.
I think it's a good bone. And again, I'm coming at you with love and respect.
I know. Me too. But this is not right.
Yeah,
you can't lose Joey Chestnut. The ratings are going to plummet without Joey Chestnut.
Who the hell cares about the damn
He
thing?
brought it up. Don't look at me.
You're worried about the ratings and everything else. Like, this thing won't it'll survive. Like, Kobayashi left, and they probably, when Kobayashi left, they thought it would be done.
Chestnut.
And then it's fine. Like, who cares?
They went from Willie Mays to Hank
they're drawing
I don't know.
100 million viewers. There are going to be some people that watch it. There'll be some people that don't. Who cares?
Speaking of,
you're jumping on his side, so don't give me that crap.
And speaking of, do you guys remember the Black Widow?
Yes. We had her on the show.
You had the Black Widow on the show? She's a friend of the show?
Friend of the show.
Wow. That woman could eat, and she was a little tiny thing.
Well, the little, what's the girl now? She won the women's thing last year. She's like ranked, because when I looked at the rankings, like they ranked the women and men together, and she's like number 2 or 3 ranked in the world right now. What the hell's her name?
I really got a kick of Zach remembering Badlands Booker, and Badlands is a
he's terrible.
He's not bad.
He's over the hill, but I mean it's a good gimmick. Badlands.
Yes,
Badlands.
He's not
Booker.
bad.
In the middle of the Badlands,
way.
there's a hill, and he's on the other side. His Badlands are on the other side of that hill.
Yes, he's over, man. He's over.
No.
Yeah, but seriously, there's one name in competitive eating.
Yeah.
There used to be 2.
And he jeopardized his pristine reputation.
He did jeopardize it. I'll give you that.
In the world of competitive eating, with this blatant money grab, a blatant cash grab with vegan hot dogs.
Miki Sudo.
I'm glad you're so morally set, man. That a cash grab. Every athlete does that. Everyone, except for apparently Dan Hurley.
Miki Sudo is ranked number 3.
Told you about Dan.
I'm going to get to that.
There are 2 women in the top 10. She's at number 3, and there's one at number 10.
But he doesn't want to talk about the hot dog eating contest.
Yeah, this woman can't weigh more than, 115, 120 pounds?
I didn't want to talk about the hot dog eating contest. I said, I'm not going to worry about the ratings of it and
I'm just
act
saying,
like it's going to go away because Joey Chestnut's not there.
It will go away. Well, they need programming. I guess 4th of July, you're talking about the slowest time of the year in sports, to be honest.
It is a slow time. This is why we just spent 10 minutes talking about...
Exactly. Well, that was your bone to pick. You brought it up.
I'm sorry.
Jeez. But Dan Hurley, you did say, and I don't think it's a shocker that he stayed. I mean, my lean was probably him going to the Lakers, but I could easily have seen that, and that's what ended up happening. You don't know the guy. You haven't talked to the guy, but what would be your guess? Do you think it's more family and where he's from and all that, or do you really believe that he didn't want to deal with LeBron? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, you know what? It's been well documented that his wife really doesn't want to leave the East Coast, and so I'm inclined to believe that probably had more to do with it than anything. I also think at the end of the day, he probably took a good hold card a cold hard look at the situation and just said, hey, I'm just better off at UConn right now. There's going to be other NBA jobs opening at some point, maybe someplace closer to home, the Knicks or the Nets, or maybe even the Celtics at some point. Who knows? I mean, you just keep rocking and rolling at UConn. I mean, he's the king of the mountain in college basketball right now. He's got a great team coming back. He's well poised to make another deep run in the tournament this year, if not, challenge for a three-peat, which is something that hasn't been done, since UCLA back in the early 70s. So, I mean, he's got a chance to make some real history this year. And you factor that in with the family stuff, and I think right now just wasn't the right time. So I applaud him for staying. I think it's good for college basketball that he is going to stay. I mean, I don't think college basketball would have, wilted up and died had he left, but I think it's a good thing that he's staying overall. So I'm pleased. I'm pleased with Danny Hurley's decision.
He doesn't mean as much to college basketball as Joey Chestnut does to the hot dog eating contest. It could survive without him.
Well, clearly. I mean, Joey Chestnut is like John Wooden and Dean Smith and Danny Hurley and Bear Bryant put together.
In hot dog eating, he is.
That's what I'm saying. In the world of hot dog.
No, you're saying sarcastically.
No.
And you talked about money grab, right? You're against money grab. What do you think about how we opened the show today, if you were listening, about the Big 12 and other conferences exploring a different revenue stream?
Horrible.
Where they're going to change their names. I knew you'd be against that.
Horrible. And here's another thing, Greg. So you're gonna let's say the Big 12. Let's say you call it the Shell Gas 12. You're going to have your championship game sponsored by something else, probably, right? The stadium where they play the championship game is something else. So you're going to have the Shell Gas Big 12 sponsored by, Kodak, played at Lucas Oil Stadium.
Remember all the bowl names over the years?
It's preposterous. And Eli, what you were saying too, I'm in the car nodding my head so hard. I mean, you could probably hear it. I don't care. I mean, all change is not good change. Stanford versus SMU is not ACC basketball. I don't care what you call it. I don't care what they think it is. Stanford and Cal and SMU. That's not Tobacco Road. That's not ACC basketball. We know what ACC basketball is. I actually texted with Brett this week, on an unrelated topic, but we kind of got into this. It's like, what it is when you see it. It's like what Justice Potter Stewart said about obscenity. You can't define it, but you know what it is when you see it. You know what ACC basketball is.
Dude, I went to school in Maryland. I know what ACC basketball is.
You do.
Better than a lot of people.
ACC basketball is Dean Smith and Tom McMillan and Mike Krzyzewski and David Thompson and Rodney Rogers, all these guys that made ACC basketball great. Big Ten basketball has its legacy. The West Coast has its legacy. The SEC has its legacy, and all this, forced conference making.
But John, you're right.
Yeah,
it's
not going to change.
We're on the same page,
and it's not going to change.
But with all due respect, you're living in a cocoon because look at what is happening. It's all about money. That's all it is.
No,
about.
It is,
money.
and I was about to acknowledge that it's not. It's not going to change. It's all money driven. But we know deep down in our hearts that it's not ACC basketball.
I agree.
We know deep down in our hearts that Oklahoma versus Texas is not SEC football.
I still haven't gotten over Maryland going to the Big Ten. I still haven't gotten over it.
It's a tough one, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So there you go.
No, we're all in agreement with that.
We can smile and nod and play our heads and turn on the TV every Saturday, but we know it's not right.
And I know you never like to go against Eli.
Eli's my guy.
You will go against him here because Eli is for also revenue streams from conferences to try to find money because we are going down the avenue of revenue sharing. They have to find it.
It's the way the game is played now, and I'm acknowledging that. But I'm also, while acknowledging that, I'm also making the distinction that it's not right.
We're in agreement.
What if the vegan hot dog company sponsors the Big 12?
I will not watch.
I don't even know what the name of the company is. I'm not. It's Impossible Foods.
Impossible Foods.
What if the Impossible Foods 12?
But you've had an impossible burger or something? Weren't we talking about that the other day with Zach?
I never have.
I think Zach had an impossible.
Zach, I thought he had but I thought Eli had brought up he had an impossible burger.
I know people.
Or you're a friend that has
I know meat eaters.
At Burger King or something,
I know
right?
meat eaters who eat the Impossible Whopper and say it tastes just like the regular Whopper.
Yeah.
I don't eat Whoppers to begin with. So.
But Zach can't make the comparison because he's never had the meat.
That's correct.
Right.
That's why I didn't rely on Zach to make the comparison. I know other people who made the comparison. I don't eat Whoppers, let alone the Impossible Whopper.
I tell you what, my wife one time made a really good vegan hamburger made out of like beans. It was actually really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
But
I would think you might have tried because you're obviously going healthy.
I have.
You've had some
Do you cover it up with ketchup and mustard and onions and lettuce?
I think I might have put some hot sauce or something on it like that. But it wasn't bad. But
I'm sure it's not bad.
It doesn't hold a candle to it.
No.
I mean, and my wife made it where it was actually really, really good. But it doesn't hold a candle to a beef hamburger.
Shout out to Mrs. V.
Yeah. She
made some great cookies, I tell you that much.
No, she can cook her tail off.
Hey, everybody, together let's drive into summer and what we really want to drive in, and that's a beautiful automobile from All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch, where all the new Silverados are. Some mark 12% off invoice. That's one sweet buyer's market. Financing as low as 1.9, no payments for 90 days on new Silverados, Trailblazers, Equinox, and more. Nothing beats family trips and a beautiful new Tahoe. You get an extra $500 off. That's a $500 bonus for college students, graduates, military, first responders, healthcare workers, teachers. No matter what pre-owned you're looking for, you can find it in Olive Branch at All-Star Chevy. They are having an all-American pre-owned sale right now. All the Jeeps, the Ram trucks, even a Ram ProMaster cargo van, 4Runners. It's all down in Olive Branch for you and waiting for you to test drive them all. Bring All-Star any vehicle you want to sell. Get a check today. Everyone at All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch wishes you a very happy and safe 4th of July. We will celebrate our nation's birthday and our Independence Day in a couple of weeks. Don't miss All-Star Chevy's All-American Sale in Olive Branch, Mississippi. Check them out online at allstarautogroup.com. More with John Varlas when we return. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Broadcasting from the Family Leisure Studio, we are Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Celebrate Father's Day this year at Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf, featuring the Callaway AI Smoke Woods and Irons. Now receive 2 times trade-in value towards any Callaway AI Smoke clubs. And from Bushnell, the new Tour V6 Series laser rangefinders provide you the most accurate distances in golf. Now $50 off. Shop with us this Father's Day in store or online. Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf. Get there.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342. There's no place like home, Town Village.
Some people just know the best rate for you is a rate based on you with Allstate. Not a rate based on Terry, who keeps and makes the car behind them. Oh no, that bumps it. Save with DriveWise in the Allstate app and only pay a rate based on you.
Not available in every state, subject to terms and conditions. Rating factors and savings vary, and in some states your rate could increase with high-risk driving. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
It's time to have a good time at Mugshots Grill and Bar in Olive Branch and Carterville. Come by for half-price happy hour 2 to 6 Monday through Friday with domestic drafts and $3 snacks. Then try one of Mugshots 19 specialty burgers, including the Mugshot Burger. Finish in 12 minutes and it's free. Plus, you get a free shirt. Mugshots in Olive Branch, 6400 Goodman Road, and Mugshots in Carterville, 656 West Poplar. So cheers to great food, good drinks, and fun company at Mugshots Grill and Bar, where you're always having a good time.
Welcome back, 7:51 the time. Keith Carter, Ole Miss Athletics Director, joins us at 8:05. Matthew Morrell from the Ole Miss basketball team at 8:25. Matt Moore will join us from the Action Network at 9:05. We'll have 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation, at 9:30. Right now, talking with John Varlas. All right, 901 FC. That's your beat now, right? Yep. Preps has ended for the scholastic year, and you've been covering, and you've covered them now since they've been here, 901 FC. Had a weird result the other night, down 2-0 late, and ended up getting a point, so that was good. Tougher opponent, I assume, in New Mexico as opposed to Rhode Island. They will play tomorrow. What about this team? Right now they'd be in the playoffs, but it's close, correct?
Yeah, I mean, much tougher game coming up Saturday. New Mexico leads the Western Conference. They're arguably the best team in the entire USL. So yeah. Coach Glass and his guys, they know they have to play better. I mean, admittedly, they were not good on Wednesday night. They were playing an expansion team from Rhode Island that had a bunch of draws, to their record, but only one victory. So, I mean, they had talent, but they hadn't been able to finish games. They come in here against Memphis. They go up 2-0. Memphis plays, not great, but they get a free kick in the 87th minute. Samuel Cariaga comes up and scores on that and gives them kind of a lifeline, and then the referee called for 9 minutes of stoppage time, which
wow.
Frankly, I don't know where he got 9 minutes of stoppage time from. I mean, five would have been sufficient, but he played 9, and they ended up getting a penalty deep in the stoppage time. Marlon Santos, congratulations to Marlon, by the way. He was voted USL Championship Player of the Month for the month of May. He stepped up and
stole my 901 FC.
Oh my goodness,
fact, that's right.
He stepped up and converted the penalty, and they ended up with a 2-2 draw where. They got the point, but maybe they didn't deserve it. But that's how soccer goes. There's lots of times we've seen Memphis 901 FC, throw away 3 points from an advantageous position. So the soccer gods kind of maybe even the ledger a little bit, but yeah, they've got to play a lot better on Saturday, and hopefully there'll be a good crowd out there to see New Mexico. I may be wrong about this, but it may be the first time that New Mexico has come to AutoZone Park, because this is the first year that Memphis is in the Western Conference. So all these teams are going to be new coming in here. I may be wrong about that, but yeah, come out and see. It's Coach Glass said there might be some squad rotation because guys are tired, so it might be some new faces in the starting lineup. But we'll
there'll
see.
be some water breaks.
Yeah.
It's going to be over 100 degrees with the heat index.
Orange slices, every 15 minutes,
yes.
like they do in the youth
wedges.
league.
The orange wedges, yes.
Do they stop it for water breaks?
Yes, I think so. Right?
I think high school football.
I think in professional soccer they actually do. They started this during COVID. Actually, they and I've seen this.
They stopped it then for COVID tests.
This is hilarious. A couple of years ago, I was watching an MLS game, and they were playing in Portland, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Timbers,
right? And they stopped it for a water break, and they were talking about how hot it was, and they were like 75 degrees. And they're like, oh, it's so warm and humid. We got to stop and get these players water.
Come to Memphis.
Yeah, so it's going to be like 20 degrees more when they kick off Saturday night, but it's okay.
That you were talking about all the stoppage time. Just think if we had the technology where, like, when the referee blows the whistle, you would just stop the clock and then start it when the play started again, and then when the clock hit 0, the game was over.
Yeah.
Just think if we invented that.
Never understood that.
It'd be amazing in sports if we had that technology.
That's actually how high school soccer. That's actually how high school soccer is played.
What a novel concept!
Yeah, if
clock hits 0, game's over.
Yeah, if somebody's rolling around on the ground with a cramp, they'll stop the clock,
right?
And then they'll restart it.
I've always said that because
I hear you.
You're right. The guy gives you 9 minutes of stoppage time. Who knows? Maybe it was 7. Maybe it was 8. Yeah, I'd be so pissed if I was the Rhode Island coach.
Well, I'm sure he was, because there was lots of discussion between the respective coaching staffs and players after the game. Lots of animated conversation. I mean, there was certainly no love
extracurriculars.
Lost. Well, I mean, no brawl or anything, but there was certainly no love lost between the two teams after the game. It was a fun night. I mean, it is what it is. Sometimes you don't play well, but you still get a positive result, and that's what happened Wednesday night.
Is that Rhode Island's only professional sports team?
Yeah, got to be, right?
Right? I mean, do they have a minor league baseball team in Rhode Island?
They used to have the Pawtucket used to be the farm system of the Red Sox.
So they probably got it. Yeah, minor league baseball.
Yeah. Pawtucket's in Rhode Island, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Is it?
I think so. It's not in Connecticut, is it?
It's not in Massachusetts, right?
No, it's in Rhode Island.
I think it is, yeah.
Anyway, Pawtucket was a long-time AAA farm system of the Red Sox. So that might be the only one. So beyond that, yeah, Rhode Island is not a big state, but it seems like a fun state.
And it's not even an island.
Yeah, they call it the Ocean State. Did you know that?
Delaware, the first state of the Union, has the Wilmington. They were the Blue Rocks. At one time, Jonathan Bolden was pitching for him, the former University of Memphis Tiger. And I'm trying to think, is that the only... That's the only professional sports team, I think, in Delaware.
Jonathan's a good dude. Before I get out of here, could I give a plug and a shout out to some Memphians who will be competing at the Olympic trials next week?
No.
Yes.
No, of course you can.
We've got a story posted this morning on the Daily Memphian website. Two twins from Houston High, Ava Rodink and Rose Rodink. They are originally from the Netherlands. They came to the United States when they were about 4 years old, and they, the family moved to Houston eventually.
Cool.
They're really, really talented swimmers. They will be competing in the trials next week as high school juniors to be. So really impressive for them. They're not expected to be in contention for spots on the team just yet, but there's certainly girls to keep an eye on for the future. And also too, competing next week, Erin Milligan from Collierville High. She competes now at Arizona State, and a young man from down the street at MUS named Zion James, who swims at Columbia. He'll be at the trials as well. So awesome. 4 Memphians in the Olympic trials. Swimming trials this week. Germantown Seth Ryder has already made the Olympic team as a triathlete. So big Olympic presence this year.
So you got high school. You got high school swimmers trying to make it. You got college, and then you have the late Mike Rose and Debbie Fields' daughter. Is it Gabrielle Rose?
Yeah.
Who's 46, trying to make another team.
Yeah.
I mean, so you got all ages. That's a wide variety trying to make the U.S. swim team.
It is, and it is a huge event. They're going to be swimming at Lucas Oil Stadium. I mean, and like Ava and Rose's coach said, the girls will be out there they'll be in the same pool with Katie Ledecky and all the legends of the sport. It's
That's
going to be
fantastic.
Huge for them.
John, thank you.
Thank you, guys. Have a great weekend.
He is John Varlas, the award-winning Daily Memphian prep reporter. We appreciate him. He joins us each and every Friday. He's brought to you by the great folks at Shoot 360 Memphis.
Hopefully they don't make him swim in Lucas Oil. That would be real tough to
slow
swim.
Times.
That would hurt the times. Good training, possibly, but not good
slow
for the times. This hour of our program is brought to you by the Big Green Egg. I did cook burgers on the Big Green Egg last night. They were meat. They were actual meat. You'll be happy to know they were actually meat that I cooked last night on the Big Green Egg. Father's Day this week, and I'll tell you, you want to make Dad happy, get him a Big Green Egg. That would be a great gift idea for Dad. Head it over to one of the Ace Hardware stores around town or Hamilton Fireplace. You can find the Big Green Eggs there, all different sizes. They got 7 different sizes to choose from. All the egg accessories as well. It would make a great Father's Day gift for Dad. The Big Green Egg.
Keith Carter, Ole Miss Director of Athletics, joins us next. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
For over 8 decades, America's farmers have counted on the Little Red Tractor from Case IH, the Farm All, to help them make short work of their demanding chores. Well, Mid-South Ag can show you they aren't just for farms anymore. With horsepower ranging from 30 to 105, plus an army of attachments, they can tackle every chore on your to-do list, from hauling and mowing to loading and towing and then some. Stop by Mid-South Ag Equipment or call 662-890-3141 to find a Case IH Farm All that's right for you.
Wash your house, wash your office building? Impossible! Not if you call Wilson's Pro Wash. Your house, fence, driveway, warehouse, store, hotel, even cars and trucks can all be squeaky clean and beautiful after pressure washing by Wilson's Pro Wash. Wilson's specializes in cleaning all hard surfaces, concrete, stone, brick, and mortar, even wood and vinyl siding. Then Wilson's can seal their surfaces so they stay looking brand new. Call Wilson's Pro Wash, 91524-6799, or online at wilsonsprowash.com.
June. It's wedding season.
It is.
Or as I like to call it, Free Central Barbecue Month.
Who's what now?
Well, not that I don't enjoy weddings. I do, especially the ones that I can tell are going to be a disaster. But what I love about weddings is that so many people choose Central Barbecue to cater the food at the reception.
You root for marriages to fail?
Not exactly root. I just enjoy drama and free barbecue. I like to sit there and enjoy my plate of Central Barbecue with beans and slaw and wait for things to blow up.
At the reception?
Ideally. I mean, I won't be around to see it otherwise. Plus, free Central Barbecue.
Hi, this is Troy Fiveash, owner of Fiveash Roofing. In these uncertain economic times, there are so many things as a contractor and a business owner that I cannot control. The rising cost of materials, not to mention fuel and transportation costs. In the last 2 years, shingle prices have almost doubled, and commercial materials have doubled. And I don't have to tell you what fuel costs these days. But you know what I can control? How much markup I put on a project. I have always prided myself in knowing I never gouge a customer. But in an effort to ensure my crews have work and my customers are being treated fairly, I have lowered my profit margin, hoping to give you a price you can live with and keeping my crews busy. So if you need a roof or gutters, please give us a call. Five Ash Roofing, fair, honest, and ethical. Five Ash Roofing, a proud sponsor of Tiger Athletics and a member of the Tigers home team. 367-0050 or MemphisRoofer.com. 367-0050 or MemphisRoofer.com.
We are Sports 56, WHBQ Memphis, and W253DF Memphis. Flynn Broadcasting Stations. Oh, yeah. Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Got a little bit busier here in the last few minutes. 240 east and westbound over here around Walnut Grove and also there at Poplar as traffic increases. I-40 west passing Sycamore View Road, getting up on that 240 flyover. Some of that traffic there is getting up onto Sam Cooper coming inbound. Still looks good at the moment. 51 southbound as you come down out of Millington. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry right here in Memphis. 7525 Highway 64 is your full service family-owned jewelry store. Go by and see them this weekend. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Diamonds are forever.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everyone. 8:04 the time. Hour number 2 here on Sports 56 Mornings. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd broadcasting live from the Family Leisure Studios. Currently 74. It's going to get up to 95. It's going to be very toasty. Air quality alert in effect. Then tonight 74 with a few clouds. Your Saturday and Sunday looks to be same as today. Very warm. The humidity is back and mostly sunshine. Looking at a high of 96 both days, but the heat index could get into triple-digit numbers, and more than likely it will. In just a moment, we'll be joined by the Director of Athletics for Ole Miss, Keith Carter. Hour 2 of the program brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers. They are your family's jeweler at 4900 Poplar between Mendenhall and St. Nick, on the web at gaddisjewelers.com. Sunday is Father's Day. You want to get something special for Dad? How about a beautiful watch from James Gaddis Jewelers? Every Monday and Friday, they bring you the Memphis Sports Fact. John Varlas did jump the gun, but he didn't know. My Memphis Sports Fact has to do with Memphis 901 FC and forward Marlon Santos. He was voted the USL Championship Player of the Month for the month of May. The Brazilian attacker tallied 5 goals and added 3 assists in 4 undefeated matches for the month. A big pickup for Memphis when they were able to bring in Santos, the Brazilian, and he has paid off in spades. Memphis 901 FC again in action tomorrow with a big one against the Western Conference leading New Mexico. As promised, it is time to talk some Ole Miss athletics. It was a very good year for the Rebels, and they are anticipating an even better 2024-2025 school year. We're joined now by the Ole Miss Director of Athletics, our friend Keith Carter, who you can follow on Twitter at Keith Carter OM. Keith, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are y'all doing this morning?
Fantastic. Thanks for joining us. We appreciate it. Before we look ahead, Keith, let's look back at the year. You know, going back to the fall and the football team, through the winter and basketball and Chris Beard, and of course baseball, which came up short this time around. What did you think overall of your past season with Ole Miss athletics?
Yeah, I think it was a good year. I think we did some really good things. Obviously had some highlights in football and a few other sports, but we had some sports that didn't perform as well. So we talk about it a lot. We have a high standard, and we want to be good at everything we do. So, we'll go into the summer and prepare for the fall. But, overall, I think, we built a really good foundation, obviously, with where Coach Kiffin has our football program. That's what we talked about when we met the very first time over 4 years ago, was getting to this point where we're nationally relevant, and people are talking about us when you turn on ESPN, and that's where we are. A lot of work to do, and a lot of got to go out there and pull through with it. But certainly excited about the opportunity for our football team.
Keith, with baseball, obviously a couple years removed from the World Series title, the last 2 years have been disappointing. Yesterday, the new hire of the pitching coach was announced, but can you kind of take us through what was your conversations with Mike Bianco after this season?
Yeah, Mike and I met the day after our last game over in Hoover. We had a great discussion. Mike obviously has built a lot of equity and really built this program. He's the one that was the first one to talk about going to Omaha and setting those type of expectations and those type of standards. And, we haven't hit those the last 2 years. And he knows that, and I know that. And so we got in the room and we talked about, how we could get better, how we could fix it. And I think the pitching coach is going to be an awesome addition. It'll allow Coach Bianco to kind of release some of those duties and let him, handle the pitchers. And now Coach B can be more of a manager. He can be in the dugout more, around the position guys more, and do that. So I think it was a great move. I think it's a really good opportunity for us to take a next step. And obviously, we know next year is a huge year. We've got to get better, and we got to get back to that standard that we all expect.
Ole Miss Director of Athletics Keith Carter joining us on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest lines. I know the anticipation is palpable. It's in the air for this year and the football season and what could happen if things go according to plan. I know that Lane has done a great job in the portal. They've brought in a number of different players. They have a number of fine players that return. So I would imagine that there's not only excitement, but certainly there's expectations for this team coming up in 2024.
Yeah, no doubt. As I alluded to earlier, a really big opportunity for us. It feels like, the stars have aligned with, the roster and the coaching staff, and the playoff going to 12 teams, and, the schedule being kind of what it is. And we know it's a gauntlet no matter what the schedule is in the SEC. But, we have a great opportunity. And as Coach said, maybe one of the best rosters we've had at Ole Miss, just from a player standpoint and a talent standpoint. But now, we've got to turn them into a team. We got to make sure the locker room's in the right place. And to your point, I think we've got a great nucleus of guys that are returning with Jackson and Prescorn and Trey, and a lot of those guys that are just solid guys in the locker room, and obviously a ton of talent that came in through the portal. So it's been fun to get to know those guys, and you go out for the spring game and you get to stand next to them, and we look more like you're supposed to look. When you get off the bus, It looks like an SEC roster, like a Georgia, like an Alabama, from that perspective. So, again, a lot of expectation, but certainly a lot of work to do, before we get the season started.
Keith, with the current situation in college athletics, the newest thing being the settlement of the lawsuits, the idea that now revenue sharing will be here probably next fall, and the preparations. How has that kind of affected you now? Like, what are the things that you're doing to prepare for this, to try and, I guess, kind of figure out how it's all going to work in the end?
Yeah, we're spending a ton of time on that, Eli. It's one of those deals where, something certainly that's totally different. And, I telling people all the time, I have no issue whatsoever with the student athletes getting a piece of the rev share. I mean, they deserve it. They're the ones that are on the field, the court, and the one people pay the tickets to go see. And so I have no issue with that whatsoever. The $20 million or so does just create a math problem, though. It's one of those deals where you have to go in, you've got to find new revenues, you've got to, tighten your belt a little bit with your expenses. And so those are all the things that we're looking to do. But again, it's something that I think, we've known this was coming. We've been doing some preparation, and, we'll certainly do that. One of the things that we've done is taken a few of our projects off the table. A couple years ago, in anticipation of NIL, we took our West Side project, press pause on that, and we've done the same with our baseball project now. So, I think right now we just realizing not only at Ole Miss but at other places, the rev share, NIL, whatever you call it, is the important thing. And so we're going to, see where that goes and figure out this uncertainty with the financial situation, and then maybe we go back to those projects at some point. But it's certainly an all hands on deck approach, and again, a big challenge, but a big opportunity as well.
Well, with the ever-changing landscape, they certainly, commissioners of each conference, the schools individually, will look for different streams of revenue to bring in money to be able to do the things that they need to do, to not only keep up with the Joneses, but even to set the pace. And we saw the news yesterday from the Big 12 and other conferences that said that they'll look at it as well, possibly selling the naming rights for the conference. I haven't heard Greg Sankey say anything yet, but it makes sense. And there's some people, Keith, that look at it and go, wow, they're sellouts. They're going to sell everything, for goodness sakes, from the field sponsor, stadium sponsor, to now the conference's name. But if they're going to truly have revenue sharing, which they will, and give the players what they deserve in NIL, then you have to find money. And these are ways to find the money.
No doubt. And I think that's kind of what we've talked about both internally, kind of at Ole Miss, and then also from a league-wide standpoint, is we got to be creative. Any idea is a good idea, and you got to talk about it from a revenue perspective. And again, got to find some ways to cut down on expenses. I think we all believe we've gotten a little fat with, staff and, staff sizes and different things. And the way we do things in college athletics, we can certainly, pull back on some things there too. But I think that, you look at some of the creative things the other conferences are doing. Now, I will say this, the SEC is probably, along with the Big Ten, in a little better position than maybe some of the other leagues, and not sure that that's something we'll do. Maybe we will. But, I applaud, everybody for finding creative ways to create revenue, because certainly that's what we're going to be asked to do.
Do you think, and maybe not at Ole Miss, and maybe not even within the SEC, but just out there talking to other ADs, like, do you think that even at the Power 5 level, Power 4, I guess now going forward, will schools have to cut some sports to make this work?
Well, I think just, again, talking with my colleagues in the SEC and others around the country, I think that's kind of a last resort. But I don't think it's off the table. I think, again, we're going to look at everything from A to Z from an expense standpoint, and how we can tighten the belt. I think, cutting sports is down there, towards Z. But I think that, again, it's on the table, and, we're going to have to do what we have to do to make these budgets work. But, we're not in the business of trying to get rid of opportunities for student athletes. We'll do everything we can to make sure that we can keep rolling. But certainly, all options, both on the revenue side and the expense side, are on the table.
After the latest round of realignment several years ago, and the big news that really started things with Oklahoma and Texas and the announcement that they're coming to the SEC, it's finally come to fruition as July 1st officially starts the new academic year. Oklahoma and Texas will be joining the SEC. Your thoughts on having those two institutions now in the conference?
Yeah, I'm excited about it. It's amazing how, a move like that with, Commissioner Sankey and our league being proactive and going out and getting two, great brands in college athletics, it started all these dominoes, and it's been an interesting, to watch. But, I've really enjoyed being in the room with Chris Del Conte and Joe Castiglione from Oklahoma and Texas. They've been great additions to our AD room. I think it's a no-brainer to add those brands. And, certainly the competition gets stiffer. Those programs are good at everything they do. And so, you'll have another hard out every time you go out playing whatever sport you're playing. But I do think adding to the brand, and certainly the SEC was already the toughest conference in the country and the best conference, and it just got better. So excited to officially get them in the door after July 1.
Can you talk a little bit now with the new television contract, with the way football scheduling? Because now I know they've got these windows that you've announced as far as the games that don't have an actual game time. You kind of know the time of day that it's going to be, which I think helps fans plan a little bit for this. But I look at your schedule, and if I'm not mistaken, you only have even the possibility of having one conference night game, which could be the Georgia game, which is a flex game, because I think all the other night game is on the road, and the other flex game is on the road. How much say do you guys get in scheduling, and kind of how does it work now with this new contract with ESPN and ABC and CBS being out of the mix?
Yeah, well, first and foremost, a great contract that was negotiated again by Commissioner Sankey, Charlie Hussey, the folks at the SEC office, and big numbers coming into us, and a lot of times when you're getting paid those big numbers, sometimes you're at their mercy a little bit, from a scheduling perspective, and so we don't have a ton of say. There was a specific instance this year where they wanted to play one of our games at a certain time, and we said, well, we'll be willing to do that if we can do this as well. We were able to get that done, but overall, they just try to pick the best games and put them at the best times. And the thing that's been interesting over the past few years, you used to play the 11 o'clock game if you were bad. They'd put you at that spot, and the old Jefferson Pilot or Lincoln Financial, whatever. But now that slot coming right out of game day or whatever is one of the most valued TV spots that they have, and so they want good content there. They want games there, and so. We do have a couple of games that are scheduled to be at 11 o'clock at home. The one that was kind of intriguing to me is I thought they would probably flex the Oklahoma game. I was, a little disappointed that one was strictly stuck at 11 a.m. Kentucky makes some sense. But I thought they would flex that Oklahoma game and give us an opportunity there for maybe afternoon or evening. But, certainly we'll look to push to play Georgia at night. I did talk to the league office. It just doesn't seem realistic that you go through your whole SEC schedule without at least one home night game. And so, we're going to push for that. And, hopefully both teams will take care of business, and it'll be the game that everybody's hoping it'll be. And I would be shocked if that's not a primetime matchup. So hopefully we'll get that. We got a couple of night games early, which is nice to stay out of the heat, in the non-conference. But not a ton of say when it comes to scheduling, with the timing.
I assume the one game that they wanted was the Egg Bowl with the moving it off of Thanksgiving Day. Dude, do the fans really like that on Thanksgiving night? What's the feeling of when folks want that game played, and now that it's going to be played on Black Friday afternoon instead, does that make people happy, you think?
Well, I could send you my Twitter mentions or my email, Eli, and you'll get a bunch of different opinions.
I would think so.
It's one of those deals. Yeah, and it really is. I don't think there's a true consensus on any time. Some people loved it on Thanksgiving. Some people are excited about it now on Friday. Some people would rather play it on Saturday just with a traditional Saturday game. I think this one makes a lot of sense. 2:30 on Friday. You still get kind of an exclusive window. You know what time your game is. You're on ABC. You get an extra day from the road game in Gainesville, which is important. So I think it makes sense to push it back one day. Let's see what that looks like for a couple years, and then who knows where it goes from there. But I think there's some tradition with it on Thanksgiving Day, and I think there's something to that. But certainly, we're open to doing what makes the most sense at a given time.
A few more minutes with Ole Miss Director of Athletics Keith Carter is joining us on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest lines. I think there was a lot of us that thought by now the SEC would have made the change to 3 out of conference games as opposed to the 4 that currently is the deal with the schedule, that they go to 9 conference games. Is that still something that is going to happen, you think may happen, or not going to happen?
I think it will happen at some point. I think there's just, back to your question about adding Texas and Oklahoma now, there's just too much great content, in our league to not show more games and have more games. And so, I think that will happen at some point. I think that we got to make sure that as we work with ESPN and ABC, that they're willing to do what they need to do on their end for us to go to that 9th game and put our young men. That's a lot of tough football. When you're playing 9 SEC games, and you got now with the playoff being expanded, an extra game there. So there's some things there that we have to work through, but. I think it makes sense. You look around the country, and a lot of the power leagues are going to 9, are already at 9 games, or going to 9 games. So I think it'll happen at some point, but not for sure. But it seems to make sense.
We've got Matthew Morrell coming up, joining us on the program. On the basketball side of things, certainly Chris Beard's first year, a lot of success. Didn't get to the tournament. We're hoping to do that, but with the the returning group that you guys have, including Matthew Morrell, the transfer portal additions, and then a McDonald's All-American as well, I would imagine there's a lot of excitement for what year 2 could be, and this is kind of why you went and hired Chris Beard.
No doubt. I was able to go over and watch them practice a little bit on Monday for about 30 minutes, and just looking at the guys, they look the part. Kind of like I was mentioning in football, they look the part. A lot of athletes out there, and again, I think a good mix of returners, guys that understand the program and what Coach Beard's trying to build. With Brake and Matt and Juju and those guys, TJ Caldwell, and then a ton of guys through the portal that look really talented. And the thing I think I'm excited about, we know Coach Beard's teams are going to play D. He's going to have them playing D.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like last year we had some lulls offensively where we just couldn't score at times, and I think this year, we're going to have a ton of weapons on the offensive side, and a lot of guys who are coming in through the portal that either led their team in scoring or one of the top scorers on their team. I think we're going to have a lot of weapons there, and have an opportunity. Coach Beard has been kind of notorious for his second year of being really good, and we're hoping that trend continues.
Keith, final thing for you. I know it was announced maybe a month, 6 weeks ago. Memphis and Ole Miss basketball back on the schedule, home and home announced, starting with Memphis FedEx Forum, the 24-25 season. For the future, and I know it's hard to look into the crystal ball, but is that a match you would like to see, a matchup annually, Ole Miss, Memphis playing men's basketball? I know they play baseball. So what, number one, about the basketball future, and then is there a chance that the Ole Miss and Memphis will play football again in the not-too-distant future?
Well, I think from a basketball perspective, that one has always seemed to make a lot of sense. I mean, we're an hour down the road from each other, two programs that are, really good, and obviously with Coach Hardaway, a lot of cachet around that matchup. I think Coach Beard feels like it's an important matchup. I know Kermit did when he was here, but hopefully we can continue that and keep it going. As you mentioned, I think we're good for the next couple of years. With football, as I mentioned before, I'm just not sure that one makes a ton of sense.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've had some matchups in the past, and I think that as we move forward, and you look at the schedule, we're scheduled out for the next 4, 5, 6 years the way these schedules work. So you never say never, but I'm not sure that one's one that we'll pursue here in the near future.
He's the Ole Miss Director of Athletics. He's Keith Carter. You can follow him on Twitter at KeithCarterOM. Keith, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for your time. Have a great summer.
Yep. Thanks, guys. Y'all too.
Thanks, Keith. Guns, guns, guns. Classic Arms of Memphis. That's where you need to go if you're looking for a gun for self-defense, looking for a gun for hunting. Maybe you're a gun collector. They got some rare guns over there. They buy, they sell, they trade. They do it all at Classic Arms. They got all the top names when it comes to guns. You could certainly find them there. Over 700 firearms in stock. They pretty much have you covered with anything that you could possibly be looking for when you go see them at Classic Arms. Located at 1740 Germantown Parkway. That's right behind Corky's. You can find them online at classicarmsofmemphis.com, or you can shop 24/7 right there. They guarantee the lowest price in town. They do free gun inspections, free gun appraisals. They do free bore sighting as well. They are the folks to see when it comes to firearms, or if you're looking for accessories like a gun safe or cases or whole whatever, and your cabinets, all that type of stuff, anything you need, obviously ammunition, all that, they've got you taken care of at Classic Arms. Again, 1740 Germantown Parkway, right behind Corky's, and online at classicarmsofmemphis.com.
Sports 56 Mornings also brought to you in part by the great folks at Dinstall's. They've been providing and putting smiles on faces for over 122 years with their fine chocolates and candies. I mean, I think it's the best chocolate in the country. And you could ship those great chocolate and candy delectables all around the country. In fact, Father's Day is Sunday. Now, it might be a little bit quick turnaround to get Dad the chocolates by Sunday, but even getting them on Monday or Tuesday or Wednesday, it doesn't matter as long as he's getting those chocolates. And, of course, for all dads around the area, this is the place for you folks in Memphis to go to put a smile on Dad's face for Sunday. Father's Day, head on over to Dinstall's Summer Sizzler Special for Dad's favorite cashew crunch, peanut brittle, and pecan brittle, all wrapped up for a special treat to say thanks to Dad. Again, cashew crunch, peanut brittle, and pecan brittle, all together. Find his favorite sports in chocolate. Basketballs and footballs and golf sets and fishing and tennis. Got the U.S. Open final round on Sunday. Yeah, in chocolate you can get all those basketballs and sporting things. Strawberries, grapes, pineapples, and raspberries. Covered in that unbelievable chocolate, that fondant from Dinstall's. Yes, still strawberry season, but not for long. Those grapes, those pineapples, those raspberries, if you haven't had those, absolutely as delicious as the chocolate-covered strawberries. So stop by over the next couple of days. Celebrate Dad with Dinstall's 5 locations. Laurelwood, which is in East Memphis, Germantown, Collierville. They got a store in downtown Memphis, and Pleasant View, where they make the candies. Dinstall's fine candies and chocolates. Been putting smiles on people's faces for over 122 years, which is just hard to believe. When we come back, Ole Miss star guard Matthew Morrell will join us. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Be sure to follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube to watch live video of our shows. Stay up to date with station events and have chances to win prizes. Don't miss out on anything that's going on. Follow us at Sports 56 WHBQ.
Celebrate Father's Day this year at Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf. Introducing the Ping G430 Max 10K driver. Straighter flies farther with Ping's straightest driver yet. And from Bushnell, the new Tour V6 Series laser rangefinder provides you the most accurate distances in golf. Now $50 off. Shop with us this Father's Day in store or online. Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf. Get there.
Buster's Butcher at 199 South Highland Street in Memphis. We're a full-service butcher shop offering a curated selection of quality meats, cheeses, prepared foods, and more. At Buster's, our skilled butchers are also experienced chefs. They'll be delighted to guide you on selecting, preparing, and cooking our fine selection of products. We're like nothing else you can find in Memphis. Learn more at bustersbutcher.com and come see why every cut counts at Buster's Butcher.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-306-8158 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-306-8158. That's 800-306-8158. What do you have to lose? Call 800-306-8158. Again, 800-306-8158.
Todd is a real Prevagen user, and this is his story.
Hi, I'm Todd, and I live in Georgia. I'm a veteran of 23 years. I love to give back to the community, whether it's my fellow veterans, some guy on the street corner. I offer what I can, when I can. I started noticing that my memory was slipping, and I wanted to take proactive measures to try to help that. I saw a Prevagen commercial, and I did some research on it, and I wanted to find out does this stuff really work. I started taking Prevagen about 3 years ago. Since taking Prevagen, I feel clearer in my thoughts, my memory has improved, and generally just more on point.
Prevagen is available in stores everywhere without a prescription. Based on a clinical study of subgroups of individuals who are cognitively normal or mildly impaired, this product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Testimonialist was compensated for their time.
Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawa Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawa is a PCUSA church located in town Memphis.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Trying to put the final touches on this crash out here on 40 westbound at Morford. It's had traffic really slow. Also trying to clean up one on 40 eastbound just past Danny Thomas as you head towards that 240 interchange there in the Midtown area. Traffic's picking up even more in the last few minutes on 55 coming up from DeSoto County. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry right here in Memphis specializes in bridal ring purchases. They have since 1984. Go by and see them this weekend. Shop local and save at Weimer's Jewelry. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
Don't you just love it?
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
And we welcome you back to Sports 56 Mornings. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd. We appreciate Keith Carter joining us on the program and continuing with that Ole Miss theme. Now time to talk to one of the stars of the men's basketball team, the Memphian, Matthew Morrell, who joins us now on the program. Matt, great to have you. Thank you so much for joining us.
I thank y'all for having me.
So year number 5, you're getting ready to get to in the fall, and it was a decision that I'm sure you didn't take lightly, the decision whether to turn professional or come back for another year with the Rebels. Give us the thought process. I know you tested the NBA waters. What all went into that decision to come back to Ole Miss for another year?
Going throughout the process, I got a lot of feedback, positive, negative, things I need to work on, things I need to continue to do. But ultimately, it became a personal decision. I wanted to finish off my legacy here at Ole Miss, on a high note. And I felt like coming back and doing that with my teammates and the coaching staff would be the best.
Who were you leaning on family, Coach Beard? Like, who were you kind of leaning on through the process as you made this decision?
Definitely family, and I stayed in contact with the coaching staff. They kept me updated with everything that was going on, encouraged me, whether it was staying in or coming back, they was with me either way, but it was mostly family.
Matthew Morrell joining us on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest lines. So, Matt, when it came down to it, when you talked to NBA personnel, tell us a little bit about that process, how that all went, and then what did they say to you, things and areas that you have to improve upon?
It's some would say tiring, others would say eye-opening. Others would say eye-opening. For me, it was an eye-opening experience. But even though this was my second time around, it was still a great experience for me. They say just talking to multiple teams. They want to see me continue to shoot the ball at a high level. Guard at a high level, and they want to see me play make more. Initiate offense more. Whatever they told me, I'll make sure I communicated that with Coach Beard, and and here we are.
You're getting ready now, obviously, for year number 2 under Coach Beard. What was it like, going through a coaching change, having a new coach, a new staff come in? What was that experience like? And then year number 1 under Coach Beard?
It felt like I was at a new college in a sense, but in the same town. It was great, though. Great coaching staff, great teammates. Coach Beard pushed every single one of us to be the best player and man off the court. I can really credit him to a lot of things. But it was a great year. That made me even more excited for this upcoming year.
From the outside looking in, for us, it seemed like things were elevated to the next level with Ole Miss basketball. Would you agree?
Yes, sir.
And why was that? I mean, I got the feeling because obviously when you have a proven coach like Chris Beard take over with the talent that you had and what he was able to add, I mean, from my point of view, there seemed to be a lot of excitement. So you guys felt that as soon as Coach took over?
Yeah. I mean, of course, Coach has his great resume. And, when he took over the job, it opened up a lot of eyes. He was able to recruit a great team, put together a great coaching staff who was able to play together, and build momentum.
You individually had, career highs in a lot of categories, scoring, everything else. You're all conference. What was it about Coach Beard's system that worked so well for you?
Coach, he lives by a philosophy on offense, players making plays, defense just having great defensive intensity. But really, my numbers going up, I can credit my teammates for that. They was able to give me a lot of open shots and help get me to my spots to make good shots. So
39.8% from three is pretty darn good. So it seems like you have a great start on that as far as even improving a little bit more with your three. But your three ball has been dynamite throughout your career. You talked about maybe more ball handling, a little bit more playmaking, but defensively, that's what struck a chord with me when you said that's one of the areas. With a different philosophy, when the coach comes in with a change of philosophy, what is it now defensively that you guys are doing and will do this season that will help you individually to make yourself more valuable to an NBA team?
At the end of the day, defense just comes down. They say offense comes and goes, defense has to always be there. So it's a want to be able to want to do it. A lot of things go into it. Working on individual foot speed, just the strength, and defense is predicting. Trying to predict what the offense will do.
Mm-hmm.
And as a team, the more you communicate and to help each other out, that's the best way to have team defense.
Well, and when you had 10 steals against Troy, I'm assuming you were predicting pretty well that game. It's very rare nowadays for a college athlete to be at one school, now going on a fifth year at that school. What is it about Ole Miss? Why has Ole Miss been such a great fit and a great place for you?
This place feels like a home away from home, to be honest. But no, I can thank Rebel Nation for the past 4 years that I've been here. I can help thank the coaching staff, past and present, for giving me just great opportunities. And just the everyday people of Oxford. I can go around the city, people speak. People are just so nice and welcoming here. I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Plus, you're not far from Memphis, obviously from your hometown. But was there ever a thought of hitting the portal?
Nah, not really.
Hey, if you have it good at a place, right? Why even look? And it seems like everything's in place for you guys. What do you think about the additions to this team? A lot of moves have been made in the offseason. It looks like it could be a very good year for you guys. So what are the prospects as you get ready for workouts in the summer and then camp and then eventually the season?
I'm pretty sure everybody knows all the guys who we acquired through the transfer portal and out of high school. But no, just being out here with the guys and playing with them, getting to know each other's games, getting to just building team chemistry. It's been fun. We have a very dynamic team. It's gonna be very fun. I feel like the fans are gonna have a great time watching us play this year.
When you were coming out, were you recruited by the University of Memphis?
Yes, I was.
But you didn't want to stay in hometown. You just Ole Miss. You felt was a better fit.
Yeah, I felt like Ole Miss was a better fit for me.
So this year against Memphis, you make the 6 threes. You guys get the win. Do you feel a little more motivation? Do you feel a little better when you're going against the University of Memphis, the hometown team?
Surprisingly, I just take every game. I take that game like every other game. I approach every game as it's my favorite game on the schedule.
Well, I believe you because you're saying that, but I can tell you this. I can attest to it. You step up in that game against Memphis, and I know when Memphis is playing Ole Miss and Matthew Morrell's on that team, that's one of their main concerns defensively is to try to slow down Matt Morrell, who's joining us now on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest lines. And you're back for another game with Memphis. Of course, you heard that news maybe a month ago or so that Memphis and Ole Miss will play this upcoming season. So another opportunity to go up against the Memphis Tigers.
Yes, sir. No, it'll definitely be a fun one, and I think this one's in Memphis.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, gives me another chance. It gives the team another chance to play inside the FedEx Forum, so that'll be a great experience.
Do you get a lot, I assume, but do you get a lot of family and friends that come down to Oxford to watch you play since it's such a close proximity to Memphis?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I have friends and family come to games all the time.
Is the main thing going into this year, obviously your last year, is it just get to the NCAA tournament, have that opportunity to finish your career in an NCAA tournament and hopefully make a run?
The goal for this year is to win the NCAA tournament. That's and I'm pretty sure you could ask everybody in this a part of the Ole Miss program. Everybody has the same goal.
Is that, I mean, and with Coach Beard, is there a different mentality that he brought, because he's been in a championship game and he's won everywhere? Was there a different mentality when he took over the program?
Just mentality to win in everything that you do, whether it's lifting weights or running just a simple down and back sprint, just trying to win everything that you do.
So the off season, which is now, but you're practicing, you're doing pickup with the guys. How often are you working out? What's the regiment like now in the month of June and throughout the summer before eventually camp opens up?
Me personally, I'm working out at least 4 times a day.
Whoa!
Yeah, this when I pack on, because when season starts, you won't always have this much time to work out.
Right.
So this is really when the grinding is, off season.
So when you work out 4 times a day, all week long, how much do you have to put in your body, food-wise, intake? I mean, you must have to eat a lot if you're working out that much.
Yeah, close to 4,000 calories a day.
Whoa! Wow.
How are those workouts broken? How much of it is basketball versus other stuff?
You have the strength training workouts, and then you have the team workout. And then outside of that, I have my shooting workout, and then just my skill work, ball handling workouts.
Mm-hmm. So how many shots, like, per day, when you're doing your shooting stuff, how many shots you putting up?
Whew, it could vary. If we had a tough day, team practice wise, we may shoot a little less. But if it's like a normal day, typical shooting workout, I'm making at least 350 at least.
Do you ever get to a day where it's like, okay, I can't pick my arm up over my head, I'm just going to take this day off?
I have my built-in off days and my built-in light days. Just not to tire off the body. You always got to keep the body fresh.
Going back to conference play, and obviously the goal to win the NCAA championship, not only the conference, but the conference, as tough as it is, as you know, adds 2 more in Texas and Oklahoma. Are you guys excited about that?
Yeah, I'm always excited to play against new competition. I felt like the SEC is the best league in college basketball. And, I just feel like we got a lot better. So, it just means we got to bring it day in and day out.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of expectation for the football team this fall as well. Like, can you feel like a general excitement around campus about things right now?
Well, not right now because here. But no, comes to fall, I think it's going to be a lot of excitement around sports, especially Ole Miss sports.
All right. So, as far as the NBA is concerned, who are the players you look up to? Guys that maybe you like to emulate with your game? Current players, maybe even a player from the past.
Current players that I try to look up to, take this to their game. Desmond Bain, Contavious Caldwell Pope, Grayson Allen, and Donovan Mitchell.
Okay, a lot of shooting in there, which is no surprise.
I would assume that, Matt, you get to, when you can, a number of NBA games, Grizzlies games here in Memphis at FedEx Forum.
I actually haven't been. I wasn't able to make one last year.
Oh, really?
I went to before. Yeah, I went to the playoff series against Minnesota the year before.
Well, you didn't miss much last year. I'll just tell you that right from
Well,
if you're going to have a year to not go to the game, last year was a good year to not go to a game.
Well, here's the thing. If Matt played his cards right, they may have signed him. They needed players, so they certainly probably would have looked at Matt. Well, Matt, listen, we really appreciate it. I've been following your career, and Eli's been following your career for a long time now, since we've been here a long time in Memphis. Want to wish you nothing but the best. Have a great summer. Look forward to watching you play in the fall.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That is Matthew Morrell joining us from Oxford, one of the Ole Miss Rebels stars. Should be another great year, his 5th year in Oxford with the Ole Miss Rebels. We'll take a quick time out. You're tuned into Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
We are Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 WHBQ. Available on your radio dial at 560 AM and 98.5 FM, as well as around the world online at sports56whbq.com. Take us with you everywhere by downloading the Sports 56 app. And at home, just say, Alexa, play Sports 56. Wherever you are, stay tuned in to Real Sports Talk. Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
June. It's wedding season.
It is.
Or as I like to call it, Free Central Barbecue Month.
What?
Well, not that I don't enjoy weddings, I do, especially the ones that I can tell are going to be a disaster. But what I love about weddings is that so many people choose Central Barbecue to cater the food at the reception.
You root for marriages to fail?
Not exactly root. I just enjoy drama and free barbecue. I like to sit there and enjoy my plate of Central Barbecue with beans and slaw and wait for things to blow up.
At the reception?
Ideally. I won't be around to see it otherwise. Plus, Free Central Barbecue.
Any day is a good day to sell your home. This is Sheldon Rosengarten with Mark's Benstoff Realtors, but the absolute best days to sell your home are those days that end with a Y. That's right. Numerous scientific studies and my friend Kevin, who is also a wine connoisseur, have shown that if you want to sell your home, make sure and use my highly successful strategic marketing program and list on the day ending in a Y. Now think about it. Who would be foolish enough to not trust science and a wine connoisseur? Seriously, changes are happening in the real estate industry, and it's not just that sellers don't know the answers, they don't know the questions. That's why I'm here. If you or someone you know is thinking of selling, I always tell people to talk to 2 to 3 experienced real estate brokers and make sure that I am one of them. Find out why people often say, when you want the job done, you call Shell Done. Call me at 483-0546 or MemphisRelocate.com. Remember, MemphisRelocate.com or 483-0546.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Guns, and more guns. Over 700 firearms in stock. Home defense guns, old guns, new guns, used guns, big guns, little guns. Every gun you can think of, Classic Arms has them. All brands like Glock, Sig, Colt, Ruger, Smith & Wesson, Browning, Beretta, Benelli, Remington, Winchester, and more. Guaranteed lowest prices in town. Only gun importer in the Mid-South. Free gun inspections and appraisals and free bore sighting for the upcoming deer season. Shop online at ClassicArmsofMemphis.com or visit Classic Arms at 1740 Germantown Parkway behind Quicky's Barbecue in Cordova.
Clothing Company on the Collierville Square has 25% off all men's Western boots on the boot wall now through Saturday for the special man in your life. Hewlett & Dunn have the Mid-South's largest inventory of men's boots. Hewlett & Dunn also has a huge selection of shirts, shorts, jeans, hats, and belts for dad as well. Hewlett & Dunn has your best price on boots for Father's Day. 25% off all men's Western boots on the boot wall now through Saturday for the special man in your life.
Now back to Sports 56 Mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour is brought to you by James Gaddis Jewelers.
To reveal the full spectrum of its dazzling color.
Here once again, Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everybody. Yes, Father's Day is Sunday. You want to take Dad out to lunch or to dinner? How about Corky's Ribs and Barbecue? 4 locations in the Memphis area. Poplar Avenue in Memphis, Poplar Avenue in Collierville. They're at Germantown Parkway in Cordova, and in Mississippi and Olive Branch on Goodman Road. They have specialized in that slow smoke barbecue for 40 years. The Q, the ribs, outstanding. Love the barbecue nachos, the cheese and sausage plates. They also have an award-winning catfish plate, tamales, even burgers, great desserts, and delicious rolls that you get with your entrees. can add a third of a rack of ribs for just $7.99 when you purchase an entree. Party packs start at just $7.49. Lunch specials every single day. Corky's Ribs and Barbecue, a great option for Father's Day or any day. You can have it delivered by any of the services. No contact delivery if you want to go through the drive-thru yourself or just stop by any of their 4 locations. Corky's Ribs and Barbecue, a Memphis staple for lunch and dinner 7 days a week. All right, so the U.S. Open is rolling along, round number 2, and some of the leaders after round 1 are off in their second round, including Rory McIlroy, who is struggling a bit.
Yeah, Rory has had some opportunities and just hasn't been able to make any putts today. And then he just, in some of these holes, it's just ridiculous. On 17, he was probably 30 feet up above the hole, and not a good place to be because that thing, he putted it off the green, off the front of the green. Some of these are just ridiculous. Scotty Scheffler is about to make another bogey. He's making a bogey on 17 as well. So
what's he at?
That'll move him to 3 over par for the tournament. But Rory, if he does get up and down after putting that off the green, well, it looks like, did he make that coming back? He might have made the comebacker from off the front of the green.
For birdie?
No, it been for par.
For par, wow. Hell of a par, huh?
But Rory 2 over on his round, 3 under for the tournament. So Patrick Cantlay, the leader at 5 under par. Ludwig Oberg, all alone at second place at 4 under par. They both played later this afternoon. Tyrrell Hatton, Rory, Bryson DeChambeau, all among the folks at 3 under par. They are all on the course right now. And let's see.
Tony Finau shot 2 under, by the way, yesterday. There's a guy, again, still, one of those names that people talk about, best to not win a major. He's in position, it seems like, every time out.
Thomas Dietrich, 2 under on his round today. He has gotten to 3 under par. Matthew Pavon is at 3 under par as well. That's the group at 3 under par. Martin Keimer, a U.S. Open champion, he is at 2 under par on his round, putting him at 2 under for the tournament. But yeah, it's looks like it's playing pretty tough here early on. Not many low scores. I think 2 under par is the best score out on the golf course right now, as far as the early rounds go today.
Projected cut right now, and that's going to probably change, +3. Tiger shot a 4 over 74 yesterday. He's going to have to get to work today. If he's going to make the cut, he'll go at 12:14 Central in his second round. Well, this is something that is interesting for Grizzlies and NBA fans out there as far as the timetable and the schedule, because it's going to get busy with the draft. The draft, which is now going to be a 2-day draft, will wrap up 2 weeks from tonight. So we're right around the corner from the draft, then the free agency period, players being added to the summer league rosters, things of that nature. It's going to be here before too long. Bobby Marks tweets out, if Boston wins Game 4 tonight, they wrap it up, sweep the Mavericks, and are NBA champions, teams will be allowed to negotiate with their own free agents starting on Saturday, so starting tomorrow. Then beginning at 6 p.m. Eastern on June 30th, a team and a free agent not on their team is allowed to negotiate. And a player extension eligible up until June 30th can continue negotiating a new contract. A player extension eligible starting on July 6th cannot renegotiate or negotiate a new contract until July 1st. So again, things will really get into motion as far as free agency is concerned once the NBA Finals wrap up. But again, if Boston wins tonight, teams can negotiate with their own free agents starting on Saturday, so starting tomorrow. Folks, Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration for all your roofing and home repair needs. It's a simple call away. Dial up my buddy Brandon McCullough, the owner of the company, at 901-438-5084, and they will take care of you. Again, locally owned and operated. They offer financing with different plans and options, including a 6, a 12, an 18-month, same as cash option if you want to go in that direction. They will work with your insurance company. They'll work out of pocket. Pinnacle is part of the Roofs for Troops program. Any veteran, active, or retired get a $250 rebate on the purchase of a new roof. Pinnacle does residential and commercial roofing, so this goes for business owners and property managers, along with homeowners. If you have a leak or any other roofing problem, call Brandon today. They'll come out and do a free roof inspection. They are licensed, bonded, and insured, and a member of the Better Business Bureau. You get a 5-year labor warranty on the purchase of a new roof. All their work, satisfaction guaranteed. They do carpentry work, exterior painting. They can replace gutters, put up fencing, siding, rotten wood repair. They can install shingles. In fact, Brandon's a certified shingle installer. Pinnacle Roofing and Restoration for all your roofing and home repair needs. Again, call Brandon at 901-438-5084. Tell him you heard it here on Sports 56 Mornings, or go online to find out more about the company and what they have to offer at newroofmemphis.com.
Yeah, so Rory on 17, the par 3, had 46 feet for his first putt. He putted it 85 feet off the front of the green, and then he made it. Wow. So just a casual par for
That's
Rory
your routine
on
par
17.
right there. Well, it's one that could ignite you to make that type of par safe. Pars are good at the U.S. Open. In fact, they're very good. When we come back, we open up hour number 3, talking NBA, talking the draft. We'll do so with our friend Matt Moore from the Action Network and, of course, Hardwood Paroxysm. And then we'll have 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation, give you a chance to win a great prize package. That'll get your Father's Day weekend off to a great start. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Summertime's finally here, and that means it's time to party. Lucky for you, Family Leisure is having a summertime to party sale. Now, what's all included in this party sale? Practically everything. 24-foot above ground pools for as little as $19.99. All ladders, filter systems, and even robotic cleaners are 20% off. Come in and look at all of the in-stock patio furniture Family Leisure has. Plus, it's up to 50% off. Play gyms for the kids, that's $1,000 off. Patio umbrellas, take 20% off. You can get a 4-person hot tub for just under $3,000. We know you're really going to just use it for yourself. Family Leisure has discounted pricing on all in-stock pool toys and floats while the supplies last, so you better get in quick. Plus, Family Leisure has special financing available. Just ask an associate for all the details. Summertime means party time, and Family Leisure is ready for any party. Family Leisure, Whitten Road at I-40, where family and fun all come together.
Rick's Powder Coating for a beautiful finish every time. Rick's Powder Coating specializes in automotive, ornamental, residential, and industrial coating. With 2 conveyor lines and the largest batch ovens in the Mid-South, Rick's can accommodate all of your powder coating needs. Locally owned and operated since 2002, Rick's Powder Coating will customize a beautiful finish just for you. Drop by or call to see how Rick's Powder Coating can bring color to your life. 901-367-2771 or rickspowdercoating.com.
Celebrate Father's Day this year at Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf. Introducing the TaylorMade QI10 Max driver and irons. Score up to $400 in gift cards when purchasing TaylorMade products. And from Bushnell, the new Tour V6 Series laser rangefinders provide you the most accurate distances in golf. Now $50 off. Shop with us this Father's Day in store or online. Edwin Watts Golf Shops by Worldwide Golf. Get there.
It's silly season in the life of your roof. I'm Brian Elder, 867-0303. The weather can be unpredictable, and I'm ready to get more life out of your roof with our award-winning Owens Corning repair team. We're the repair guys the other repair guys call when they can't find the problem. Leaks become black mold when ignored. That's why when you call me, I start my inspection in the attic. Is it time for a beautiful new roof? 867-0303. I'll measure your roof from outer space and get you an estimate right over the phone. The best warranty in the business, including a warranty against ice dams. The only roofer in Memphis to offer a warranty against water intrusion due to snow buildup. Ask about military and first responder discounts. 901-867-0303 or BrianElderRoofing.com.
They're taking care of beerness in Memphis right on the river with Grind City Brewing
and all of their great products. Look, this was a dream come true for a father and son duo. And if you have not been to that brewery right on the river, just to the north of downtown, you're really missing something special. And now you can't miss their products. Wherever you go, you see a brand new label. It's clean, it's beautiful, it's distinctive. You'll know Grind City Brewing, and of course you know their products like Poppy's Pills, that great Pilsner, or Tiger Tail, that very creative craft malt liquor. There's the new Thaddeus Amber Lager. That is absolutely a great light beer. There's the India Pale called Godhopper. It's outstanding. And then there's the Belga, the Belgian-style wheat ale. They keep bringing hits at Grind City Brewing.
East Memphis Ace Hardware is more than just a hardware store. It's really a customer service store. With 20 employees along with complete inventory of items, they deliver. Finding what you need is easy. Choosing from a complete selection of Big Green Egg as well as Traeger and River grills. And the garden center has everything for your yard. You can get glass cut, repair screens, even your keys with Key Club programming. Tools, nuts, bolts, screws. You need it. East Memphis Ace Hardware has it. And they're just down the street at the corner of Wilson White Station. Listen each and every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. and join Ottawa Presbyterian Church for worship. Ottawa is an ECUSA church located in Midtown Memphis.
This Sports 56 traffic report is brought to you by Luttrell Belting. They keep you moving.
Sports 56 traffic.
Good morning. Still a little bit busy over here as they wrap up an earlier wreck. 40 westbound at Warford. Just about through with that one on 40 East just past Danny Thomas. Still some volume there on 40 East coming across the Hernando de Soto Bridge. And you can see quite a bit of traffic throughout the day, both east and westbound. Out here on the Hernando de Soto Bridge because of 55 Bridge being closed for another week. Hey, Weimer's Jewelry here in Memphis specializes in bridal ring purchases. They have since 1984. Go by and see them this weekend. Weimer's Jewelry. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. This hour brought to you by Jenkins Floors and More. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Welcome back, everybody. Not quite Friday at 5, but it is Friday at 9:03. Our final hour this week here on Sports 56 Mornings. Greg Gaston, Eli Savoy, Zach Boyd with you from the Family Leisure Studios. Currently 78 degrees as it inches up to 95 today. It'll be brutally hot because the humidity is back and there's an air quality alert. Tonight we're looking at 74 degrees and a few clouds for your evening. And then once again, more of the same for Saturday and Sunday. Hot, humid, with the heat index possibly going into triple digits. Hour 3 of the program is brought to you each and every day by Jenkins Floors and More. Now, with the new warehouse opened up in Horn Lake, they got 3 stores to serve you in Cleveland, Mississippi, in Little Rock, and here in the very close proximity to metropolitan Memphis, Horn Lake, 2356 Goodman Road. Jenkins Floors and More. They specialize in flooring and carpeting. Family-owned and operated local business. So if you're looking for flooring, you're looking for carpeting, you're looking for amazing deals because they sell at wholesale. You're going to save lots of money if you buy from Jenkins Floors and More. SPC, WPC vinyls, which are scratch-resistant, waterproof, ceramic and porcelain tiles, hardwoods by Portercraft, carpeting from Southern Luxury Carpet, backsplashes for your kitchen and bathrooms, plantation shutters and blinds too. Timmy and Rebecca Jenkins started this business 8 years ago in their garage in Cleveland, Mississippi. And because of the quality of work, the attention to detail, and their pricing, they have earned their reputation of being one of the top flooring companies in the area. So do yourself a favor, homeowners, but also contractors. Head on down to Jenkins Floors and More in Horn Lake. Visit them today. They will come to you also. If you want a free estimate, take a look at the samples. They will come to you. And if you go with Jenkins, we're talking about an unheard of 2-week turnaround to have the job done. Give them a call at 662-469-9350 or visit them at 2356 Goodman Road in Horn Lake. We're going to be joined in just a moment by Matt Moore, talk some NBA playoffs, talk a little bit about the draft, which is coming up in a couple of weeks.
Thomas Dietrich made another birdie. He's 3 under on his round today through 4 holes. And 4 under for the tournament now. He has moved into a tie with Oberg for second place, 1 shot behind Patrick Cantlay. Rory's got a par putt coming up on 18 to try and stay at 2 over for his round, 3 under for the tournament in round 2 of the U.S. Open. Looks like another perfect day at Pinehurst today. Looks like there's very little wind, beautiful conditions, but still an extremely hard golf course.
And again, the College Baseball World Series begins today. Virginia, North Carolina will open things up 1 o'clock Central Time in Omaha. Then Florida State and Tennessee will go at it. It's a double elimination College World Series, as most people know. From the world of NASCAR, Martin Truex Jr. yesterday, a story came out on him, and I guess the formal announcement will be made today, is going to retire at season's end. Just 43 years of age, Martin Truex Jr. expected to announce his retirement. As we wait on Matt, Twitter, it is what it is, right? You're going to get advertisements. Basically, if you open up your timeline, usually the third thing you see is an advertisement. And it's everything from, with the male enhancement things, and then, of course, everything in between. And then you have the politicians. I love the politicians. So I just opened up saw this on my timeline. This is like a Saturday Night Live skit. I'm not going to play the audio for you, and you can see the guy, but I'm just going to read what it says. Hi, it's Eugene Vidman. I need your help. We are days away from my primary, and unfortunately, we're a bit behind on our fundraising goals before June 18th. I can't win this race without you. Please chip in anything you can today. Any donation amount helps make a difference. Eugene Vidman. If that isn't a name from a sketch on Saturday Night Live, I don't know what is. I had to look him up. He is in Virginia. He's running one of the districts in Virginia. So good luck. I want to wish the best to Eugene Vidman. Sounds like he was in Ghostbusters.
So big news yesterday. And I didn't know. I didn't even realize. I had kind of missed it that they had gotten it in so quickly. But Terrence Shannon Jr. Found not guilty in his rape case. So now the NBA teams can feel free to draft Terrence Shannon Jr. and not have that weighing over him. Because originally when he went when it was kind of thought the schedule, he had this pretrial hearing to make sure it would go forward in May. Mm-hmm. The original thought was the actual trial wouldn't take place till after the draft, but they were able to, they got it in before the draft, and he was found not guilty. So I think according to his agent, he's supposed to be working out for some teams today. It is full bore ahead now for him to try and prepare for the draft, and certainly that can change the draft board for some teams out there with Terrence Shannon Jr. now not guilty of the charges of rape against him.
Was that the expected verdict?
I don't know if it's the expected verdict or not, but I mean, apparently there really wasn't a whole lot of evidence against him. Like he had many people, that said that that were there and said he never approached the girl. And there was video evidence that really never showed him. So it was just from what I read about the trial, it seemed like the evidence kind of was overwhelmingly on his side.
Before we bring Matt on, happy Flag Day.
It is Flag Day.
I just realized it's Flag Day, so now we get serious with Major League Baseball. Of course, we've been serious for a long time with the NBA. The draft coming up in a couple of weeks, and tonight Boston will try to wrap it up against the Dallas Mavericks. We're very pleased to be joined by a good friend of the show, NBA writer for the Action Network. He's Matt Moore. You can follow him on Twitter at Matt Moore TAN, and of course Hardwood Paroxysm at Hardwood Paroxysm. Matt joins us now on Sports 56 Mornings. How are you, Matt?
Doing well. How are y'all?
So my question to you to start things off is this. If you could pick any one or two teams from the West, who would have given Boston a better run, and it might be a bunch of teams that you think, than the Mavericks have in this series? Who would have given them the run for their money to win the title?
Denver, and then Minnesota, and then Oklahoma City. All three of those teams are, I think this kind of brings up an interesting question, which is, like, do you believe that if a team wins 7-game series, do you think that they have to be better? And I just don't. I think that you can win a series based off of, matchups and how the series kind of plays out. The Wolves were a much better team than the Mavericks this season from start to finish, and they ran into a bad matchup at a bad time when the Wolves were exhausted coming off a 7-game series and a little overconfident, and they got caught. But Denver in particular really showed an ability. They were the only team to go 2-0 versus Boston this season, and their ability to all of the switches that the Celtics like to do, a very powerful way to kind of damage that and force the Celtics into rotation is if you have a player that can post up effectively and get to the rim. And, well, the Nuggets have Nikola Jokic. And so that combined with more motion in the offense, a more well-rounded team, and quite frankly, way better perimeter defenders for Denver would have been a lot better matchup. Minnesota, the same kind of deal. Oklahoma City, same kind of deal, where there was a time when everyone was really complimenting Dallas and like, oh, their defense. If you watched, it was basically, well, 5 guys are camping in the paint, and they're daring guys to shoot. And it worked versus Oklahoma City because a bunch of young kids couldn't hit anything, and it worked versus the Wolves because the Wolves didn't have the guys that were prepared to knock down those shots. And especially with the 2 big lineup, it didn't work. But Denver would have torn that to pieces. So that to me is obviously, I think Denver probably beat Boston, and that's why Denver's got to be kicking itself for blowing its opportunity by blowing a 20-point lead in Game 7.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly, and you're not the only one that has said that. But with the Denver series, it was close, obviously. You just talked about how it ended. But you don't believe, like you said, with Dallas and Minnesota, where it was just a bad matchup there for Minnesota. When Minnesota played Denver, that was just maybe Denver not completely playing up to snuff as opposed to a bad matchup?
No, I think it was a matchup, but I do think also that Denver was largely out of gas. Denver tried to push the second half of the season and try and establish seeding instead of prioritizing rest. And they talked about how, like, oh, we just got to be healthy. We just got to be healthy. We just got to be healthy. And then they didn't do anything to make sure they were rested. They didn't do that at all. And that combined with Jamal Murray's injury, I think, is what sunk them. On top of, I think that the way that series started, where they go down 0-2, especially Game 2, where they just get blown out, the Nuggets didn't have the right mindset. They just didn't. They were not ready for, I think, mentally for that playoff run. And you can say, like, well, what does that mean versus Boston if we weren't ready versus Minnesota? Well, the kind of assumption is, okay, they win Game 7 and they survive this crazy kind of series where they almost lose, and then they probably lock in a little bit better. So I still believe that. I think Minnesota was a really tough matchup, well built to beat Denver, and had a phenomenal series. But I do think that Boston matches up way worse with honestly most of the teams rather than Dallas.
You're in Dallas, correct?
Correct.
So are you going to be watching the final game of the NBA season tonight, or do you think Dallas has a final stand in them?
I think we're done. I think it's over. It's sometimes like, the Wolves win Game 4 on the road to be like, kind of save some pride a little bit. But being at availability yesterday, it's always really, I've been at these games, at these kind of availabilities before, these games a lot, whether it's a sweep or if it's a 3-1 series with a Game 5. And there's just like an awareness of what happens. Like, there's just like you can feel it. The team is just like, yeah, no, we're not. It's not happening. Like, no one comes back from 3-0. And I think Boston's, and I've been really impressed with Boston's mindset in these playoffs and in the series where, they've been very focused. They haven't gotten too up. They haven't gotten too down. And they've just kind of kept very even keel and keep going until it's done. And, they've benefited from so much that's happened injuries and the way the bracket broke and everything else. But they also, I think, they've recognized the opportunity in front of them. So I just do not believe that Dallas is capable of finding the answers they need in this series. They just are not built to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, if you are facing the kind of matchup problems, you better be a really good team. And quite frankly, the Mavericks they're a good team. They really are. They're a good team, but they're not nearly good enough to win the NBA title or to beat Boston.
Matt Moore joining us on the Sissy's Log Cabin guest lines. All right, you're the perfect guy to talk about Doncic. It seems to me from the outside looking in that the national pundit, they're just piling on the guy. Look, we know he's not a great defensive player. We know that he belly aches about officials as much as LeBron does and soccer players do. But my God, he's one of the most entertaining offensive players that we have seen in a long time. And it seems like they're putting all the blame on him. Am I looking at it the wrong way? How do you look at right now just this avalanche of criticism of Doncic?
It's interesting because I feel like the backlash to the backlash has been worse than the actual backlash. There's, I'm looking around at podcasts, I'm looking around at the talk shows, and everyone's like, well, let's not go too far. Like, it's gone too far because Brian Windhorst goes on and has one segment on SportsCenter where I thought Brian was fair. Look, the reality of this is, let's talk about the defensive side. They build a scheme built off of switching. Oh, we're going to switch everything. Well, if you do that, you have to have good perimeter defenders. The Mavericks' perimeter defense is an absolute trash can fire. Like, it's an absolute disaster. And on these plays, Doncic is hurt. There's no question Luke is hurting. Mm-hmm. But on so many of these plays, you go back and you watch, and it's not like, oh, he got beat. He's not trying. Like, he's standing there watching the guy go by. And if he's not doing that, he's fouling. And, like, I've had problems with his complaining all season. I have never. Mm-hmm. In 17 years covering the NBA, I have never seen a player complain to the officials the way and with the frequency that Luka Doncic does. Ever. It is during plays while he's got the ball.
Right, yes.
So to me, it's like an absolutely wild kind of element here. The other question here, offensively, is this. If they're having a real hard time scoring in this series because the Celtics are switching everything and there's no leverage, they can't create anything. And the role players wind up taking the hit for this. And my problem is the way you beat this is you have to play differently. And the Mavericks can't because for whatever reason, Luka Doncic doesn't want to. Like, that's how these teams are built. It's like, how does our best player want to play? Okay, let's build around him. And this dribble, pass or shoot. I'm sorry, I know Mavs fans hate this comparison. We've seen it with James Harden. It doesn't work. You have to be able to have different ways you can play. And so I think that it's fair to say that the way the Mavericks are built this way around Luka Doncic is the reason why they're down in this series. It's not all on Luka. It's never all on one guy. If they had better guys playing, if they had guys that could absolutely be knockdown shooters. But in large part, their problem is how they're built. And a lot of the problems with how they're built in this matchup are because of things with Luka Doncic.
But isn't the reason why they're in the final because of Luka Doncic? Like,
sure.
It goes both ways, right?
So let me ask you this, though. The problem with that kind of thing is if we actually go back, and we don't fall into recency bias, Luka was not good for a series and a half. He was bad versus the Clippers. Like, go back and look at the numbers. It was bad. And the Clippers didn't have Kawhi Leonard, and they couldn't get past it, and they kind of fell apart. The Thunder really did just miss open looks. Like, it was wild. Like, they missed open looks, and P.J. Washington shot 47% in that series. Right? Mm-hmm. Now, look at why they beat the Wolves, the best defense in the NBA? Absolutely. And that's a testament to how great Luka is. But we can also say that, yeah, like Luka is the biggest reason why they're in the NBA Finals. The best way I think to frame this is Luka is not why they're losing. Luka is why they're not winning. And that differential, I think, is a fair way to try and kind of break this down.
Yep, fair enough. Absolutely, Matt.
Switching gears, the Grizzlies obviously coming off the horrendous year with everything that could go wrong. 9th pick in the draft. Who do you think would be the right fit for the Grizzlies if they stay at number 9, or would you think they should try and move up to get somebody, or how do you kind of think they should go about this draft?
I don't know. For me, I just don't know that being like, with where they're at in the process, getting job back, loading back up. Okay, last year was a disaster. I do not understand being like, what we should do is we should move up and try and get a better pick in the worst NBA draft class maybe ever. But that's what we should do. I don't understand that. Or I'm just like, no, like you're past it. Like, we're ready to go. I can't really speak, I think, too much on trying to break down these prospects and who the fit is.
Mm-hmm.
I know that there is a lot of talk about them moving up to acquire center. I know there's a lot of talk about them moving up to acquire, if not a center, then another player on the perimeter. At the same time, I think everything is kind of on the table. It's very hard I do not envy anyone trying to do a mock draft because I don't know where anybody's going to be in this draft. There's so many picks that are on the table.
Yeah. Right.
And so I think there are players that are probably worth considering, but I don't know. And I will say that one of the concerns is Klingon is one that's been mentioned. Mm-hmm. And I will just say that I think that there's been a little bit of concern that there's going to be a push for a lot of guys. The guys that I've heard connected to Memphis are all guys that I've heard are rising up on draft boards for places like Washington, et cetera. So I think that there's a lot of different ways this can go. And all I know is that I don't expect Memphis to be at 9. Everything I've heard is either up or down, but it takes 2 to tango there, so I'm always a little skeptical. It's going to be a wild week, I think, when we get to the NBA draft.
The Grizzlies will certainly be one of the most intriguing teams in this draft. I don't think there's any question about it. And I think we would all agree that they need another big, right? There's no more Steven Adams. They have to get a big. Doesn't necessarily mean they have to do it through the draft. What about players that may be available out there within reason at the center position, or at least a power forward to go along with Jackson, that the Grizzlies may go after? You've probably heard some names out there like we have. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, so there's been a lot of conversation that Wendell Carter Jr. was a name that was linked to them for a while from Orlando. And I think Orlando was in a different place when those trade talks were happening. I think now there's been kind of a settling from Orlando of, maybe we don't want to move on from Wendell Carter Jr. So I think that's maybe not an option. Memphis is a Capella team alongside a handful of other squads that are looking at Clint Capella. That's one. A lesser known name that this is not a starter, but this is more of a bench acquisition, is Day'Ron Sharpe. That's a name I've heard connected to him, which I actually think that's a buy low opportunity with a lot of upside. I think Day'Ron had a really good season last year, and nobody noticed for Brooklyn. So those are some of the names that I've kind of heard. The other one it's a lot of money, and so I don't know how they'll be able to piece together the money for it. But I think Vucevic is probably a name that wouldn't be a terrible consideration given how good they are defensively. Mm-hmm. And Vucevic is really available. This is a really good time, I will say, for Memphis to be able to go out and pursue a center, because unlike the last couple of years, there are centers that are available on the market. And that just hasn't been the case the last couple of years. So they can actually maybe address need here in this draft, at this draft, with the picks that they have and with the ability to kind of look at an open market. There are actual center options, which we haven't been able to say the last couple of years.
Well, it's going to be interesting. That's all I know. It's going to be very interesting. There's a lot of names that have been associated. You just rattled off a few of them as far as maybe a trade is concerned. There's some free agent guys like Capella, and then, of course, there's the draft. So, it's going to be fun in a couple of weeks. He is Matt Moore. If you like NBA, if you want great coverage of the NBA, you need to follow Matt Moore, NBA writer for the Action Network. You can follow him on Twitter at MattMooreTAN, and then also make sure you're following him at Hardwood Paroxysm. Matt, thank you so much. Really appreciate it.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Take care. All-Star Chevrolet. Hey, everybody. Together, let's drive in the summer in what we really want to drive in. A beautiful automobile from All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. It's where all the new Silverados are. Some mark 12% off invoice. That's one sweet buyer's market for you. Financing as low as, get this, 1.9, no payments for 90 days on all new Silverados, Trailblazers, Equinox, and more. How about the new Tahoe? Nothing beats a family trip in a beautiful new Tahoe. And if you're a college student, a graduate, recent graduate, military, first responder, healthcare worker, teacher, get an extra $500 bonus with a purchase of an automobile from All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch. No matter what pre-owned you're looking for, you'll find it in Olive Branch at All-Star Chevrolet. They got an all-American pre-owned sale going on, all the Jeeps, the Ram trucks, even a Ram ProMaster cargo van, 4Runners, all types of great pre-owned automobiles. At All-Star Chevrolet in Olive Branch, you can test drive them all. Bring All-Star any vehicle you want to sell. Get a check today. Everyone at All-Star Chevy in Olive Branch wishes you a very happy and safe 4th of July. We're just around the corner from that as we celebrate our country's Independence Day. So don't miss All-Star Chevy's All-American Sale in Olive Branch. You can also check them out online at allstarautogroup.com. When we return, let's play 10 in a row. The game show that has swept the nation. You can jump on the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines right now. Don't get shut out. 901-360-8255. Your chance to win a great prize package with 10 in a row. You're tuned in to Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56 at 98.5 FM.
Add a little fun to your lunch break. Join Johnny Radio for Sports 56 Happy Hour from 11 to 1 every weekday on Sports 56 and 98.5 FM.
Buster's Butcher at 199 South Highland Street in Memphis. We're a full-service butcher shop offering a curated selection of quality meats, cheeses, prepared foods, and more. At Buster's, our skilled butchers are also experienced chefs. They'll be delighted to guide you on selecting, preparing, and cooking our fine selection of products. We're like nothing else you can find in Memphis. Learn more at bustersbutcher.com and come see why every cut counts at Buster's Butcher.
The Angie's List you know and trust is now Angie, and we're so much more than just a list. We still connect you with top local pros and show you ratings and reviews, but now we also help you compare upfront prices on hundreds of projects and book a service instantly. We can even handle the rest of your project from start to finish. So remember, Angie's List is now Angie, and we're here to get your job done right. Get started at Angie.com. That's ANGI, or download the app today.
Hi, this is James Stovall with Corky's Barbecue. We have been serving up our legendary barbecue for more than 39 years, right here in Memphis, Tennessee. Whether you're dining in, picking up in our drive-thru, or serving our famous barbecue at your office or home, with Corky's Party Pack, you are the hit of the party. Barbecue pulled pork, baked beans, coleslaw, barbecue sauce, and buns, starting at only $8.49 per person. And as you know, we send plenty of food. You never have to worry about running out of the store.
Corky's Barbecue.
Hi, this is James Stovall with Corky's Barbecue. We have been serving up our legendary barbecue for more than 39 years, right here in Memphis, Tennessee. Whether you're dining in, picking up in our drive-thru, or serving our famous barbecue at your office or home, with Corky's Party Pack, you are the hit of the party. Barbecue pulled pork, baked beans, coleslaw, barbecue sauce, and buns, starting at only $8.49 per person. And as you know, we send plenty of food. You never have to worry about running out of the store.
Hewlett & Dunn Boot and Clothing Company on the Collierville Square has 25% off all men's Western boots on the boot wall now through Saturday for the special man in your life. Hewlett & Dunn have the Mid-South's largest inventory of men's boots. Hewlett & Dunn also has a huge selection of shirts, shorts, jeans, hats, and belts for dad as well. Hewlett & Dunn has your best price on boots for Father's Day. 25% off all men's Western boots on the boot wall now through Saturday for the special man in your life.
Miss Rebel Yell is back. The Rebel Yell Hotline Radio Show is back on WHBQ Sports 56 and 98.5 FM. Every Monday night at 6, hear the latest news on your Ole Miss Rebels with Yancey Porter with 24/7 Sports, former Ole Miss defensive tackle Mike Fitzsimmons, Gordon Ford covering SEC Sports Call, and former Ole Miss baseball announcer Gary Darby. From kickoff to free throw to extra innings, your Ole Miss Sports on the Rebel Yell Hotline Show right here Monday night at 6 on Sports 56, 560 AM and 98.5 FM, your Mid-South sports station.
Now back to Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 95 FM. This hour brought to you by J.K. Stores and more. And once again, our Greg Gaston and Eli Support.
Welcome back, everyone. 9:30 the time. Last night, the Tigers tour made a stop in Lakeland. They were at one of our great sponsors. They were at the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill. Jeff Crane, the interim athletics director, announcing that the school has raised now $73 million. $50 million, of course, coming from Fred Smith and the Smith family, but $23 million more that they have raised. So, Captain Math will tell you what, that's $27 million away from matching the $50 million that the Smith family gave. So, they've done a good job, but there's a ways to go.
Yeah, and they got to get to the 25 mark for, I think, phase 2 and all that
2.
stuff. So, they should get there with no issues. And as far as timing and all that goes, should have no issues of getting phase 1 and phase 2 taken care of.
I would think so. I would think not that they would have a problem, but I would think they would get there here relatively soon. We're talking about $2 million to make sure phase 2 is in play for the start of the season, because phase 1 is expected to be done by the kickoff of the season and then right into phase 2. Right now, it's right into 10 in a row.
Not 5, not 6, not 7, not 8, not 9, but 10 in a row.
It's the game show that has swept the nation. It is 10 in a row. We do it each and every Friday. It's brought to you by Napa Cafe and this is why I brought up the story, the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland, in the Lakeland Town Square. Again, a lot of Memphis Tigers fans were there yesterday. Fabulous place. If you're looking for sports, you want to watch all the sporting events on the big screens, they have them for you at the Owner's Box, including this weekend, the U.S. Open Golf Tournament. Great place to bring dad on Sunday for Father's Day, for lunch, or for dinner. But it's always a good place and a good time, anytime, to head to the Owner's Box. All over-the-wall taps for all your favorite beers. They also have non-alcoholic, local craft beers. In front of the wall, they got the full bar for all your other favorite beverages, including a full wine list. Outstanding menu, upscale patio seating, daily specials and events. Well, that's everything you want in a great sports bar. The Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square. And remember, Monday through Friday, weekdays from 11 to 3, they have a great lunch special. Everything from wings to quesadillas, to hot ham and cheese sliders, to wraps to salads. It's the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland Town Square.
Also, Napa Cafe for a great night out to enjoy yourself, have a great meal, and just a great time. Go check them out at Napa Cafe, 5101 Sanderlin, open for dinner Wednesday through Saturday, starting at 5 o'clock. And you can go to napacafe.com for reservations. Check out that menu, which includes so many great entrees, some great desserts. They've got their signature dessert cocktails as well that you can enjoy, along with any other cocktail at Napa Cafe. Celebrating 26 years here in 2024. If you've got a very special occasion to celebrate, ask about the private wine cellar. That is a great night out. They've got 5 dining rooms, including that private wine cellar. Could celebrate with a crowd or just have an intimate evening on the town celebrating something nice over at Napa Cafe. Again, 5101 Sanderlin, that's where you'll find them. You can dine there, or you can also get curbside pickup with their entire menu at Napa Cafe. Again, 5101 Sanderlin, Wednesday through Saturday starting at 5 o'clock. For reservations, visit napacafe.com.
Well, since it's the U.S. Open, had to go with a golf question. Here it is. Golfers who have won multiple major titles in the same season. golfers who have won multiple major titles in the same season. That means 2 or more majors in the same season. Remember, there was only 4 majors each season. The Masters, the U.S. Open, the PGA, and the Open Championship. Golfers who have won multiple major titles in the same season. What are they playing for?
Got a $25 gift certificate to the Owner's Box. Got a $25 gift certificate to Mugshots Bar and Grill out in Collierville and down in Olive Branch. Got a couple of large buckets of balls for the St. Louis Church Hole-in-One Festival, which will get underway on Sunday and run all next week. Also, Golf for 4 at Miramichi.
Whoa.
And a couple of Malco movie passes. So quite a prize package.
That is. 360-8255.
With the St. Louis Church buckets, could be giving you a car.
Could be giving you a car. That's right.
You might be winning a car in 10 in a row.
So 901-360-8255. Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines are open to you right now. Let's get in. Let's play. 901-360-8255. 10 in a row. That is quite the prize package. Again, the question, golfers who have won multiple major titles in the same season. I know there's a few of you guys out there that may not be golf fans. You're wondering, man, there's no way I'm going to get this right. Give it a shot. You can't get a hit unless you step up to the plate, unless you swing the damn bat. 360-8255, golfers who have won multiple major titles in the same season. Of course, the U.S. Open going on right now at Pinehurst number 2.
Boy, Rory McIlroy, his putter, he just cannot get a putt to fall today. He left one 1 inch short on number 1, although putting from above the hole on 1 today, like you just can't. It's so scary because if you get the ball past the hole, it's probably going to go off the green. But he left it 1 inch short on 1. He's had a couple of others that he was in there with good looks and couldn't get to fall. Rory's still 2 over on his round. Got a birdie putt coming up on number 2, which is his 11th hole of the day. He is currently tied for 3rd with Bryson DeChambeau and Terrell Hatton, who are both also on the course as well. Patrick Cantlay and Ludwig Oberg, both who are in 1st and 2nd place, respectively. Neither one of them has hit the course. They will not do that until later this afternoon.
All right, once again, the Sissy's Log Cabin listener lines open to you at 901-360-8255. We're playing 10 in a row, the game show that has swept the nation. Brought to you by the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill in Lakeland and Napa Cafe in East Memphis. Golfers who have won multiple major titles in the same season.
James will lead us off. Hey, James.
Hi, James.
Hi, guys. What's up?
Not much. Okay, here we go. Justin Thomas.
Yes.
360-8255. Again, golfers who have won multiple majors in the same season. 360-8255.
Next up is John. Hey, John.
Hi, John.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. Greg Norman.
Yes.
360-8255. Slow start, hopefully a fast finish for somebody. Who's next?
Next is Tim. Hey, Tim.
Hi, Tim.
Hey, hi.
Golfers who have won multiple major titles in the same season. Justin Thomas.
No.
Tom Watson.
Yes.
Craig Statler.
No.
Nick Faldo.
Yes.
Tom Weiskopf.
Yes.
360-8255. Who's next?
Next is Anthony. Hey, Anthony.
Hi, Anthony.
Hey, how's it going, fella?
Going well, thank you. Greg Norman.
No.
Arnold Palmer.
Yes.
Ernie Els.
No.
Phil Mickelson.
No.
Padraig Harrington.
Yes.
Nick Price.
Yes.
Lee Trevino.
Yes.
Mark O'Meara.
Yes.
Tiger Woods.
Yes.
Jordan Spieth.
Yes.
That's how it's done.
Anthony, congratulations, sir. You are a winner. You got a great prize package coming your way. Hold on. Zach will tell you how you're going to get it.
Eli, the lines are packed. We doing second chance?
I'll give Mean Gene and George a shot at a little bit of a prize package. I'll put something together.
Okay. Who's
Gene,
first?
what's up?
Hey, Gene.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Doing well. Second chance opportunity, Gene. Eli's being nice today. All right. Justin Thomas.
Yes.
All right. It's up to George now.
What's up, George?
George.
Let's try it.
George knows golf. Justin Thomas.
Not really. No.
Tom Watson.
Yes.
Craig Statler.
No.
Nick Faldo.
Yes.
Tom Weiskopf.
No.
Rory McIlroy.
Yes.
Brooks Koepka.
Kepka's a yes.
Colin Morikawa.
He's a no.
Jack Nicklaus.
He's a yes.
Gary Player.
Gary Player's a yes.
See, George knows golf. Good job, George.
George, congratulations. I'll put together a little prize package for you as well. Hold on.
Great.
That's 10 in a row. We do it each and every Friday. It pays to get in pretty quickly. And, I appreciate the guinea pigs as well, but sometimes those guinea pigs hit it out of the park. We appreciate the Owner's Box Sports Bar and Grill for being one of our sponsors and the great folks at Napa Cafe.
Well, after a bogey start to his round today, Xander Schauffele has made 4 birdies.
Whoa.
So he is 2 under par on his round and for the tournament now through 11 holes of his second round as he looks to become a guy who wins multiple majors in the same season. He, in that group, he's at 2 under par. Rory again at 3 under par. Scotty Scheffler now still 3 over for the tournament. 2 over on his round today.
We could have, it's a long way to go, I understand, but we could have that scenario, if you think about it, if Schauffele can get it done, and let's say Scotty and Schauffele don't win the Open Championship, which would be the final major. And my scenario, I think, was that Scotty, who's already won 5 times, including the Masters and the Players' Championship, and let's say he wins another tournament, and Schauffele doesn't, does 2 majors, is that more impressive than 6 wins, 1 major? I would still say no, but we know how important majors are, and that would be half the majors. That would be multiple majors in one season. So that'd be, you could make the argument if he can get the deal done. But then again, Scotty Scheffler, who right now is struggling, who knows if he can make a push here, first of all, to make the cut and get in there, and then to make a run at another major this season. We will take a break. Want to talk about one of our great sponsors, though, right? In Genesis Diamonds?
Yes, we will talk about Genesis Diamonds.
Putting you on the spot, buddy.
Folks, right now, during the month of June, Genesis Diamonds, great opportunity. 0% financing for up to 5 years. That's right, 5 years, 0 interest financing on any purchase you make right now. Put nothing down, and you could spread those payments out over 5 years with no interest. So if you're thinking about getting engaged, great opportunity to get a beautiful engagement ring and spread those payments out over 5 years. Maybe it's a beautiful pair of earrings. Maybe it's a necklace, whatever it is. Maybe you're looking for a great gift idea for dad. I'm going to get him a piece of jewelry. Maybe it's one of those pre-owned Rolex watches. Whatever it is, anything you purchase, you can get 5 years, 0 interest financing right now at Genesis Diamonds. You get something, $5,000, and it's just $85 a month. That's how easy it is to take advantage of this great deal right now at Genesis Diamonds. It goes on through the end of this month. You can get more details, more information at genesisdiamonds.com, or you just go see them at Genesis Diamonds, Poplar and Perkins Extended.
Another big name from the portal is off the board. We'll tell you who that is when we come back, plus some NFL news. Final segment of the week. This is Sports 56 Mornings with Greg and Eli on Real Sports Talk, Sports 56, 98.5 FM.
Best of both at Los Cabos Mexican Bar and Grill on Summer near Graham. Watch all the big games on all the big TVs on all the walls at Los Cabos. And enjoy premium tequila shots anytime for just $5.50. Celebrate every day with lunch specials from 10 to 3 and happy hour from 3 to 8. Lunch is just $6.75 to $10.99 and margaritas start at $3.99. Experience real Mexican cuisine along with great sports at Los Cabos on Summer near Graham.
Nestled in the heart of East Memphis, located corner of Park and Cherry, is a beautiful residential neighborhood. I'm here at Town Village Audubon Park interviewing a new resident, Carolyn. Share with us why you chose Town Village.
Well, if your parents or special friends need to make that big move, let me share with you my experience. It was tough for me to leave home, but then I discovered Town Village. I would like to highly recommend Town Village to you and your loved ones. After looking at all the amenities and meeting all the people and staff, I was hooked. From restaurant, bistro, 3 meals per day, housekeeping, transportation, security, health care, physical therapy, exercise room, and even a heated pool and spa. Come see us and make your new home at Town Village.
Visit us and call Daniel at Town Village Audubon Park at 901-374-7342.
There's no place like home, Town Village.
They say health is wealth, and I could not agree more. That's why if you or somebody in your life is living with everyday aches and pains, I want to tell you about Relief Factor. And I'm telling you, I can feel the difference. Relief Factor is a daily supplement that helps fight pain naturally. Naturally. Now that's a big deal. Developed by doctors. Relief Factor's unique formula of ingredients all work together to help support your body's response to inflammation. Instead of masking pain for a couple of hours, Relief Factor actually helps reduce or even eliminate your pain for good. Whether it's neck, back, joint, or muscle pain, if you're looking to feel better, live better, give Relief Factor a try. In 3 weeks, you will know if it's working because you'll feel it. For instance, I was sent Relief Factor to try, and I've been taking it every single day. I'll tell you what, I feel the difference every day. Go to ReliefFactor.com or call 1-800-4RELIEF. That's 1-800-4-RELIEF. Save on your first order. Don't let pain tell you how to live. Fight back naturally with Relief Factor. These products and statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease or condition.
You or someone you know or care about has dealt with a difficult divorce. When facing divorce, you need the attorneys at Rice Law. Nick and Larry Rice lead the firm with 3 generations and 7 decades of experience. Located in Memphis, serving the entire state of Tennessee and North Mississippi. Rice Law is who you need to call. Simple or difficult divorce, they know how to handle it. Call Rice Law at 901-526-6701, or for more information, visit them at aboutdivorce.com. That's aboutdivorce.com.
Sports 56 mornings on Sports 56 and 95 FM. This hour brought to you by James Floors and More. Here once again are Greg Gaston and Eli Savoy.
Big pickup for Jerome Tang and Kansas State as Illinois transfer Coleman Hawkins, according to reports, is heading to play for the Wildcats. Certainly going to be a team to be reckoned with this year. Top 25, no question, in the preseason poll. Illinois will still be very good. They picked up a number of players, but lost a few, including Coleman Hawkins.
I guess Coleman Hawkins must be excited about the Kansas State football team, because that's one of his things. He said he wanted to go somewhere where he could enjoy football games. So
I don't know what the expectations are for them this year, but hopefully for his sake, they're pretty high. This is interesting. Speaking of football, this blew my mind when I saw this. Of course, even though the stats line up, the results don't. So I'm not making this comparison. This is not me making the comparison. I'm reading this on the NFL on CBS. Last 50 starts, Patrick Mahomes versus Dak Prescott. Patrick Mahomes, 36-14. Dak, 33-17. Passing touchdowns, each have 105. Interceptions, Mahomes 39, Dak 38. Passing rating, Mahomes 98.9, Dak 101.3. Yards per attempt, Patrick Mahomes 7.5, Dak 7.6. Completion percentage, Mahomes 66.8, Dak 68.4. Rushing yards, I don't see that, but I would imagine even though Dak can run, that Patrick would have more, but obviously the results speak for themselves and what Patrick Mahomes has done with the Chiefs as far as Super Bowls. Dak, he's up for the big contract when? After this season? The 2024 season?
Well, this will be, he's going into the final year of his contract. They're talking about whether they're going to do an extension or not now.
Right, so they're talking now. Can they do the extension at any time, or once the season starts, they can't? How does that work?
No, they could do it. I think they could do it during the season.
They can do it during the season? Okay. The question is does Jerry Jones feel that he's going to be worth that type of money? Those numbers are great. The results of where the Cowboys have finished in the postseason are horrible, even if they made the postseason. But We talked about the contract that Trevor Lawrence signed yesterday. Makes him the highest paid player in the NFL currently. But again, that thing is changing by the day. With these quarterback contracts that have come out, the receivers. But will they pay Dak? Dak's his current contract pays him how much per year?
It's around 40, I think it is. I can't remember exactly what that one that he signed was.
Again, if you missed it with Lawrence, it's going to average out to $55 million per year,
which ties Burrow.
Yeah, but again, there must be something that puts him number one. Because I just read something on, I don't know if it was PFT that said he's number one.
So his Dak's cap hit is $55 million.
But what's his actual? What was the contract that he signed?
It was a 4-year, $160 million.
Yeah, I thought it was around 40. It was $40 million was the number as far as the average annual salary thing. Cap hit, all that cap hit stuff is because all that stuff is so weird trying to figure that. I don't even understand how the people in the cap people in the NFL
capologists
figure this stuff out, like how to distribute and then if we sign this extension now, we distribute this signing bonus here.
You need the accounting firm of Ernst & Young.
It is crazy how they figure that stuff out and where they are and how much money they've got. And, now we're going to redo this deal to create $10 million in cap space by pushing this money there and that money here. I mean, those dudes are pure geniuses, man.
We were talking to Matt Moore about the draft and the Grizzlies and what could happen as far as the center's position is concerned. Yahoo Sports has broken down each position for the draft. And they rank the top 5 in order. And as far as the center position is concerned, I don't think this is a surprise. Alex Sarr is one, Donovan Klingen's two. But there's a lot of rumblings out there that perhaps Klingen can go ahead of Sarr, which I didn't hear that for weeks until like the last couple of days. Then we're in, as you say, smokescreen season. Number 3, Khalil Ware. Number 4, Yves Missy, who I like Ware a lot better. And Zach Edey's 5. He's the most polarizing of all the centers and maybe of all the players. Zach Edey. But they have him listed at number 5. By the way, they're point guards, which Memphis does not need. But Stephon Castle, they have him rated number 1 with Nikola Topic, number 2. Rob Dillingham. You like him, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Dillingham. I know he's good, though. He's 3. Devin Carter's 4. And then Carlton Carrington is number 5 on their list.
Xander Schauffele just made another birdie. He's now to 3 under par, and Rory McIlroy just made birdie as well, so he gets back to 4 under par. For the tournament, as they move along, Scotty Scheffler unable to match their birdies, and he has to settle for a par as those 3 play together. So Scheffler at 3 over, Schauffele at 3 under, Rory McIlroy at 4 under par as they head to the 4th hole if they played the back 9 first. So they have 6 holes remaining on their second round.
Eli, you burying the lead there, man. We got a hole-in-one at the
Yes, Sepp Straka. Straka got the hole-in-one. So if you bet that there would be a hole-in-one made at the U.S. Open, you are a winner. Sepp Straka just made you a winner.
Back for a second to the football and the Trevor Lawrence deal. This somebody just tweeted this out, CBS Sports. The 2021, not that many years ago, the 2021 first-round quarterbacks, there were 5 of them. Trevor Lawrence agrees to a 5-year, $275 million extension. Zach Wilson traded to the Broncos. Trey Lance traded to the Cowboys for a 4th-round pick. Justin Fields traded to the Steelers for a conditional 6th-round pick. Mac Jones traded to the Jaguars for a 6th-round pick. 1 out of 5 they got right. It is always a crapshoot, whether it's quarterbacks or any other position. I mentioned earlier, Athlon Sports, it's preseason all AAC teams, 7 Tigers on the first team. I had mentioned Seth Hennigan leading that contingent. That also includes Rock Taylor, Demir Blankhamsey, offensive lineman Xavier Hill, Chandler Martin, offensive lineman Jonah Gamble, and Sutton Smith as a kick returner. Second team, running back Mario Anderson and Greg Rubin. Third team, Cormonte Hamilton and punter Joshua Smith, new punter for Memphis. And the fourth team, offensive lineman Jalen Nichols and Anthony Landfear, plus Kobe Drake, punt returner. I forgot him earlier. So that's 2, 4, 7, 14 Tigers named on one of the 4 teams from Athlon Sports. And that's going to happen with all these preseason magazines. We talked about Phil Steele's preseason selections on the program yesterday. All right, that'll do it for us. Will the Celtics wrap it up tonight? Possibly. If not, Game 5 is set for Monday.
Yes.
And that would be back in Boston, but the Celtics in command with a 3-2-0 lead. And the College Baseball World Series gets underway today. 2 games, including Tennessee taking on Florida State. We want to thank John Varlas, Keith Carter, Matthew Morrell, and Matt Moore for joining us again. If you missed those interviews, as I always tell you, you can go to sportsmemphis.com, our website. We will have the Keith Carter and Matthew Morrell interviews up on featured audio, but you can listen to all these interviews on the podcasts. The Sports 56 Mornings podcast, broken down hourly, and, of course, all our shows available at sportsmemphis.com. Wolo and Friends on Sports 56 is coming up next. Want to thank you folks for listening, all your calls and texts. Want to wish all the fathers out there a happy Father's Day, including you, Eli Savoy. Enjoy your weekend.
I'm not a dad.
Well, you're a stepdad.
It's not Stepfather's Day.
Oh, it counts, my friend.
Well, he's the father that stepped up.
He's the father that stepped up. Zach, have a great weekend as well.
Oh, you too.
All right. Wolo and Friends, it's next. For Eli and Zach, I'm Greg. Have a great day, everybody.